I'm pretty sure I don't want him to.
Yeah, I mean that is the cat way. That was a very quick turnaround from like me hitting the broadcast button and it going live. So hey, everybody,
Yes, hello.
welcome to bonus content for episode 278. Jesus, how many episodes that is? That's like 278 episodes.
That is how counting works, yes.
That's hella episodes, I believe, is the technical term.
The one's
I
keeping score, that's called a hella episode.
that's the hella count. Technically,
How
I'm
much hella?
Alex. Tony and Scott are here as always. Jared
I'm
Green is joining
sorry.
us. Did you say I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Nobichin is still off in the ether, working his ass off so he can pay the bills and get to San Francisco. So
Kind of like me, except I'm not going to San Francisco.
yeah, you're just paying the bills
Yeah. And on a podcast.
and on a podcast. Yeah.
Get on my level, Namishin.
Jared immediately just says BRB. He just doesn't care. That's
He just doesn't give any fucks.
I'm just gonna put you on blast, Jared. I'm sorry. How you guys doing?
Great.
I know you had a rough day, Tony.
I'm great. 100%. There's
I
nothing that could be better about my present situation than right now.
I know you're better. I mean, you had that hot dog.
I put a hot dog in my mouth, felt like a dick all the time.
I mean,
Made your day.
I feel like you didn't have to say that.
I
I'm gonna
didn't,
be honest.
but I did, and here
Uh,
we are.
We are live with some
I enjoyed it.
78 bonus content. This is how you tweet. Dictation.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you had a long day.
I'm not upset about it.
Well, I'm upset for you.
I mean, thanks.
Good looks, man. How's your week been?
It's been tolerable.
School's over.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't
It's
even know
been
if
okay.
if you were going to school.
So I am. Um, it's been tolerable.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a week. I work way too much, but that's okay because
You're making that moolah.
yeah.
That they call that the collard greens.
Oh yeah.
Don't you ever say that again.
I knew, like, I thought of it, and I'm like, well, Jarrett's back. This is it. This is my one.
This is my
It's the
chance.
moment.
um,
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I've been doing that. Let's see. I've been basically there all the time.
mhm.
And when I'm not there, I have been playing some video games and also watching hella YouTube because I have a sickness that can only be cured with more cowbell.
More cowbell.
And like rewatching this Bo Burnham commercial over and over again, and
Which was amazing.
yeah,
Very excited.
we're having a viewing party.
I keep dreaming.
I mean,
Keep the dream alive, Tony.
we have to hang out at some point because we have to record.
We
more
do have
stuff
to hang out at some
before you
point.
leave.
All right, so we'll have the viewing party with Ethan.
With Ethan. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also just happened to be there in the background, like watching over around the corner,
Us.
just like peeking over, and then we look over and we're like, "Alex, get the fuck out! You said you weren't coming."
You were muted for that, whatever you were saying, Scott. So
Oh, I said yeah, because it'll be at your house.
yeah, I'll inherently be there. I won't necessarily be with you guys. But,
Yeah,
you'll
it's actually
like-
just Scott and I are gonna come into your house and just hang out, and you're not gonna know about it.
That'd be really funny. Like what? Because I'm down here, right? I go upstairs and you're in the
But
living room.
it's you're downstairs, you're doing whatever. Derek lets us in, then we just chill with Derek.
Yeah.
It's just you guys and my brother sitting in the living room upstairs,
Yeah,
just like watching Game of
just
Thrones. Like,
getting wasted.
what the fuck is this?
We're like, you weren't invited. Get out of here.
I would definitely be concerned about that too.
Jerry, you need to come back down, and then we'll record a Let's Play.
You need to come down for Extra Life.
I was browsing through
You should come down for
my
Extra
local GameStop
go.
looking for Let's Playable things.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you find anything that has to do with ponies or little girls?
nope.
Because that's
mean,
I
yes,
really don't like
but
how you
not
phrase
really.
that. I'm gonna be
It is
perfectly
a troubling
honest.
phrasing.
or
Yeah.
like divas. You guys
D
let's
period and then VA.
Let's play Overwatch.
Yeah, we can do a let's play Overwatch.
Where you
Jared.
guys just like
Let's play
run
Overwatch.
around
Everyone's
and...
gonna let's play Overwatch. If we're gonna play a game together, there's got to be something. Got to be a real gem.
No, it's not like a video series. Let's just play Overwatch.
We're not talking about recording. I'm just saying we should do this.
Tony's like, I don't think you fucks understand. I just want to play Overwatch right now.
Yeah.
I need it inside of me.
Did you see that story in Kotaku where people are like
Simulating
pretending
Overwatch and other
actual-
video games.
other video games are pretending it's Overwatch.
Yeah, it's pretty good. 10 out of 10. What was it, Counter-Strike that they were playing that in?
I think so.
Daisy or something.
We've reached maximum internet.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've reached maximum Overwatchitude.
I'm gonna abstain. from this.
You're not gonna get Overwatch?
No. From going over the top with how Overwatch you can get Overwatch because
No, you gotta abstain, stick to it.
Would you say that you've been watching more than you should? You've been overwatching.
yeah, but not the actual game Overwatch. I've probably been overwatching.
Yeah, he's just been using
Minecraft on YouTube.
He's
Yeah,
just
we
been
know.
using his Apple Watch too much.
Yeah, he's just like
Actually,
looking-
it did die while I was at work today because I didn't charge it last night.
Ah,
Yeah,
Dude,
I had it on
happens.
I had it on power reserve for the first 6 hours that I was working, and then I took it out of power reserve, and then it was like I'm at 4%, and I was like, fuck.
you're like, well, GG, I guess.
And then you had to take it off your wrist and then jump over it.
Yep.
Just jump over it.
He had to overwatch it.
I had to jump over. The
I
lot.
get it, Scott. You're clever with the jokes.
It's getting worse.
I'm going to just write down "jump over your watch" in the title
He's
section.
playing
I'm just
Overwatch.
gonna deny that one.
Jared just goes down and deletes it. How's your life doing, Jerry? You were walking through a GameStop. Take me on a story.
Well, this was, I guess, Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
Maybe not Wednesday, probably earlier than that, because I ended up picking up Uncharted, and I would just kind of browse the PS4 games, which there are way more used ones than I figured there would be, and then I just kind of strode over to the PS3 section. I was like, wow, there's some really bad games in the PS3 section,
Mm-hmm.
and I stayed there for a little bit too long. Got some ideas. Not
That's-
really gonna throw it farther than that. I don't want to ruin what could be a great surprise.
Oh, okay. That's exciting. Because I was gonna say, like, if you want to throw out some, can you throw out like some? Tony, what links are you sharing in the chat right now? I can't.
Yeah,
like,
I have an idea. Let's not click it.
Yeah,
Yep, you probably shouldn't click it.
but it's don't click this, obviously, but it's there. I blame Twitter.
But it's there. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Just
I
click
guess.
it later and you'll understand.
I don't want to. At
No,
any
I think
point.
I already understand and have.
I feel all right. This is bonus content, right? This is fair game. It's a Pornhub link.
Yep,
We can all
totally
we can all like put that out there. I don't know why, Tony.
And now that we're there, I'll just tell you so you don't have to ever click on it.
Okay.
It's super a link to a video of animated diva from Overwatch.
Here we go. Just trying to get fucked.
Yep.
Who here is trying to get fucked?
I just want to get
It's
fucked.
high noon.
So now you've seen what I was talking about.
I-
It gets ridiculous.
Is it like well animated?
It's
I'm asking for a friend.
I'll just say that is one of probably 200 or 300 of those.
Great. So no.
Actually, the answer to that question though was yes.
Oh, good. All right. Let
I
me
was just like, well,
let me
bookmark.
add this to my reading list. I was gonna say something. It's gone now.
It's gone.
At this point. I was sitting in my room alone writing, and I said out loud when a Twitter exchange happened earlier this week. I said I just want to get fecked out loud,
Nice.
as in FEKT,
Yeah.
and like because I talk to myself like a crazy person when I'm alone. I just slipped fecked into a lot of like weird conversations I had with myself. So Maybe we learned a little bit too much about Alex O'Neill in this episode.
You yourself is really glad it happens to you.
Yeah, I just think the sound and the way you say "fecht" out loud is really funny.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna write down the word "fecht" in the titles.
Good lord.
Any ideas that aren't gonna make the cut that you want to throw out there, Jarrett?
Duke Nukem Forever. That was
Absolutely not. Never.
That was a strong maybe for me, and I was like, why would I do that? And then it stopped.
That game's like the problem is it's too long, right? If that was
Right.
like a 3-hour game, we could do it.
Exactly. I
But
thought
like,
about Lair.
ooh,
but-
that would be funny.
I don't even know if I want that game to like be near me ever again.
Yeah, we could play without the motion controls now, though.
It's like still a shitty game though.
Yeah.
It's a funny game, a frustratingly funny game,
hmm
and not that long.
Yeah. What do you do in that game? Do you just ride a dragon and kill dudes?
Yes, like literally you fly over. Sometimes you have targets you have to like shoot fireballs at on like a bridge or some shit.
Mhm.
But for the most part, it's kill all these dudes and then fly over and then do that again.
Oh, good.
And then sometimes there are other dragons and you have to like run into them, and, like fight them in the air. It's just it's all bad, really.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you ever had to experience that.
It was a big deal for me.
Are we looking at like a PS3 game? Is that what we're?
Well,
probably gonna do.
those are where the bad ones were that I
Mhm.
like knew were bad and just wanted to like pick up and hold again. I don't really know if there are like, I mean, there are plenty of super let's playable like PS4 games, but I don't know. I haven't found like the right one yet.
Just do Spelunky.
No, because you just play that one by yourself with your eyes closed. I'll just sit and watch you.
It's
I'll just
true.
be texting in the background watching you do it.
It'd be like, Jared, what did you think of that maneuver? And you're like, sorry, I was texting.
Sorry, still
give a
texting.
shit. I don't give a shit what you do.
Let me know when you beat it again.
Yeah, let me know when you've beaten it for the 34th time. I've beaten it 30 times now.
Does it tell you that?
On PS3 alone, so that doesn't
Oh,
include all of my other victories in other places,
Of course.
of course. Anything else happen in your life this week, Jared? How's life? It's treating you well? You still writing
I
for
am.
various websites?
I am. I turned 29
That's right. Your birthday was this week.
on Tuesday.
Happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
It was lit.
It was lit. I heard stories. Although I feel like you were maybe like dead the night of because you didn't respond to anything until the day after.
Well, the night of, like, my plan was to go home and just like go to sleep. But I have a twin sister. She calls me and was like, "You should come to wherever the fuck she was,
You have a twin
and we'll have
sister.
drinks together." And I was like, "Okay."
Okay.
So I did, and then I woke up the next day, and I was like, "My whole plan failed."
Did you go there or did you and then drink a lot or did you just fall asleep at home?
No, I went there.
Oh, okay.
I drank a whole bunch.
That could have gone either way. So,
It could have. You're right. The end effect would have been the same either way,
mm-hmm.
but
And then
I
you
could have
woke
at
up the
least-
next day.
like answered texts if I just went home.
Did you like do like a hangover type thing, going back through your social media, trying to figure out where you went, what you did?
No, I just woke up with like 90 billion notifications, and I'm glad like your Facebooks and Twitters, like they kind of figure out what the birthday like
Mhm.
notifications are and just kind of put them all in one little section.
Yep.
So I didn't have to like physically scroll through them all.
Even if you like don't post from the birthday area now, it'll like if you mention birthday or happy or something like that, it'll move the post into that section, which is cool.
Right. Which was super useful.
Mhm.
Though I didn't really celebrate it till yesterday, because having a birthday on a Tuesday means you can't really do a whole lot.
Mhm.
Didn't stop me, obviously, but
Obviously, you were for all intents and purposes on another planet for a few hours there.
kinda. It was a cool planet though,
It was a cool planet with lots of drinks.
where alcohol is made.
Yeah.
So like Earth.
So, yeah,
But-
it was, but like
Was
hopefully with less emissions, carbon
was there a
emissions.
citadel there?
Less emissions.
Uh,
Hopefully with less emissions.
emissions is actually better than carbon emissions.
I just want to envision Jarrett spilling drinks on a citadel.
Yeah,
We only hope.
except like Jared then falls in love with Lady Shepherd and then fucking stabs her in the back.
Yep,
It's not my fault.
it's not my fault.
And also
Back
Jared
was
looks like
just so
Kanye
open.
West.
I do. My license does have a Kanye West face.
I'll have to see that.
Or
I'm gonna
just
need
kind of
visual evidence. We might have a cover art for the show with that one.
just staring out into
God, you
space,
should have
like
seen
upset.
the cover art for last week.
I think I did. Is that it's you on Widowmakers? Or
It's on Diva,
on Diva, right?
with an ass tattoo
Yep.
of Hudson the
ass
Horstachio.
I just imagine that's what Alex has in real life.
That is what I have in real life.
The tattoo.
Yeah, a tattoo of Hudson the Horstachio on my left ass cheek.
I mean, that's a good place for.
Yeah, I played.
I just imagine that like Joe lovingly tatted you.
Lovingly.
He tapped me with something.
Yep.
Winky face.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
Good birthday. I'm glad that you had a good birthday. It sounds like, even if you don't remember it.
I mean, I remember it happened. I
It
usually don't
definitely happened.
like celebrate, but
You should update your Google picture.
I should. But I realize I only ever really use it to be on this show.
I mean, fair enough. But like, it's just like that picture doesn't really look like you anymore. I feel.
Probably not. Especially since it was taken at a job I haven't worked at in 3 years.
Yeah. Was it like a Tower Records? I see like record.
Those are
envelopes.
cardboard boxes. I worked at a pepper spray manufacturer.
Oh,
That
cool.
sounds cool.
And we found that necklace outside, just on the ground. And I was
Just
like,
on the
well,
ground.
And you're like, well, that's going on my body.
so I'm going to wear that right now.
Well, I'm wearing a plain yellow shirt. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, it doesn't capture your height.
No.
You're a very tall man.
It doesn't because there's no reference. Like, you don't know how tall that little shelf is behind me.
Yeah. God
No
knows.
idea.
Scott?
Still have that necklace?
Sounds like I want it.
Valid
I
question.
did up until last year. I don't really know where I put it. It might still be around here somewhere.
I gotta find it for Extra Life when you come visit.
I can just get another one, probably.
No,
I need that one.
authentic, or else you get the fuck out, or else you're not welcome in my
Big
house.
bullshit out of here.
Well, you haven't been here. I mean, last time you were here, I lived in an apartment.
Right.
Now I have room.
Now that apartment exploded.
That apartment did not explode.
So I thought it was the house after the apartment.
It was the house
That
after the
exploded.
apartment exploded.
No, that apartment also exploded.
No,
Oh,
Don't-
you just blew up every place you go.
don't
Yeah.
spread. That's how I leave. That's how I move out. Last stage, just drop a pipe bomb in my toilet and peace out. The toilet in that apartment did explode.
Later, landlord.
I think that was Greg's fault, though.
Unhooked
Good job,
from
Scott.
the oven.
Scott's killing it right now.
Man,
It muted like right in the middle, so it like made the sentence basically unintelligible. But I'll go with it. It's good. Yeah, it wasn't Greg's fault. Toilet just broke. And then exploded.
You didn't hit it with some hard dukes.
Greg did vom into it the previous night.
He did.
Dropped some hot voms.
I think Justin also vommed into that toilet.
Yeah, a lot of people vommed in my toilet. Actually, that's not true. A lot of people vommed into Ethan's toilet in that apartment.
I think I exclusively ever only used your bathroom.
Someone fucked. It's because I have a clean bathroom and Ethan doesn't.
Yeah, right. That's
Uh,
fucking right.
someone fucked violently. Well, two people fucked violently each other, not anyone else.
Oh, okay.
In Ethan's bathroom.
I was concerned where the story was going.
Yeah, no, they had very, very loud sex. These
Oh.
unnamed people.
Yeah.
And it was so loud, or the gentleman involved. It was a male and a female. It was so loud. Ethan, hungover as fuck, was woken up multiple times by the sound of balls slapping against the woman.
That sounds dangerous. Like that dude's Put his life in his hands.
It's not always put in somebody's hands. But there's a little fun fact about my apartment and that bathroom.
Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. Scott, how's life, man?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. You finished school.
Finished school.
You were ready to start recording on Fridays. You're like, I'm not going to tell anybody about this.
I'm just gonna
jump to this-
assume
Gonna
that.
expect.
I'm
just
just
gonna
gonna
jump to this
assume that we are
conclusion.
now doing that.
Yeah. But it's good to know you're primed. You're ready.
Yep.
Anything interesting happen, Scott? You want to give me something?
Working back at NAFCO.
Okay. So your last day
The
wasn't
daytime
last
job.
week. Oh, daytime job.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is this the one where you have
that's not the one that's not part time? The one that's 50 hours a week.
Yeah. Is this one where you have to get up at ungodly hours in the morning?
Regular hours in the morning now.
Okay. Okay. Good. How many hours you work in a day? What, 10?
Yeah,
10 hours a day, 5 days a week?
6.
That's 60 hours a week, Scott.
You shut up.
I don't want to alarm you, but the math there.
I ain't trying to break hearts here. But yeah. Unless you're working 8 hours a day, in which case...
It's anywhere from 7 to 10 hours a day.
Okay.
So it ends up normally being around, and then Saturdays normally like.
I think Scott got muted.
I think Scott should probably fix his mute.
Scott, stop typing on your keyboard with your weird fucking blanket over it.
What?
He's got like a blanket.
He has a blanket over his keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it acts as like a sound dampener. Except
No,
for
clearly
it's-
it's not working. Google Hangout
Say
Say
knows.
it's happening to shit into your sound. Especially when you don't want it to.
Yeah. It's dampening. It's getting you all damp.
It's real damp.
It's gonna get you damp, Scott. I know he's not muted right now. He could be talking, but
Yep.
he's just
No,
letting
I'm just
Dude
not.
decided that we're not worth it.
he's just letting this shit sit out there.
Definitely.
Well, at least you're working like normal hours, I guess, not
That.
weird night.
Yeah,
hours.
and not like sleeping 4 hours at a time twice a day. That sounds awful.
That does sound
It was 5 hours at a time, and then there was also the warm up and the there's
Just
sounds
there's
awful,
the,
Scott.
There's the
Sounds
hour
awful.
of trying to go to bed.
You don't need to convince me that it's more awful. I already knew that it was awful.
To our viewers out there, people watching live, or if you're watching the archive, it'll just roll over to next week. If you'd like to be a part of the show later in the evening, you can tweet your questions at IrrationalPod, with the hashtag IPQ.
I would encourage weird questions about why Scott is so awesome.
Fair. We'll read them during the mail sack, which
And
is
Scott will be forced to answer them in a timely manner.
He will. He'll have to answer them. Finally, we'll have a definitive answer from the Scott Guthier.
Yep. Scott will just be like, "Yeah, please be excited about my answer next week." And we'll be like, "God, not this shit again."
Please
Well,
be excited about my answer
I-
a month from now.
Unless they're very specific questions, I don't have an answer for you.
Well, hopefully, we've gotten a few questions for this week, and they're relatively specific.
Yeah.
All right.
I went to dinner with Greg Miller.
Yep.
That was cool.
And that's
Yes.
cool, I guess.
I like all your comments on Instagram, Jarrett.
Just gotta tear you back down.
It's just gotta tear me back down. I mean,
trying to find a way to tear you down.
my ego hasn't gotten out of control quite yet. Oh, here we got a question that's relevant to this. How was dinner last night? Hashtag IPQ from Trevor Starkey. Which I guess
He was in the area. I know he was in Baltimore or DC or whatever.
yeah, he was in the area. He was staying.
He has been for like a week.
I think he got in on Wednesday.
Almost a week.
Yeah, almost a week. First time in the area for. Trevor followed up on Twitter saying he asked, as you just brought it up on the show. First time in the area in 14 years. He'd
Probably
Like-
a different world now.
Yeah, he had done like an internship, I guess, in DC, like 14 years ago, over the summer or whatever. So that was crazy. Yeah. He was staying somewhere in Baltimore. I guess like I can't necessarily say what he was here to see, but he was in town for business.
For business.
For business.
Business.
And yeah, it was cool. Trevor, who asked the question, apparently he tweeted out like on Sunday or last Friday or something. It's like, hey, who do I know in Baltimore, D.C.? And Trevor saw that. I missed it because, Twitter. And tweeted at me saying like, hey, Alex lives there. And then he hit me up earlier this week and said, hey, let's go get dinner.
Cute.
It was super cute. We had a great time. He's a very, very nice man.
Yeah.
What a nice man.
What a nice young man.
I think if I had gone with you guys, I definitely would have worn the Dan Ricketts shirt.
I'm sure you
Like
would have.
no fucking question.
We were dressed up. We talked about the rib situation. I feel real bad for Greg Miller. All I'm saying.
Yeah.
He didn't. Well, Dirty Dan Reichert's a professional.
Yeah,
that's right.
Clearly.
He fucking takes names.
Breaks ribs.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. We talked about a lot of stuff. Just chatting. It was good to like actually sit down as like two friends, as opposed to like the weird like, hey, we're at an industry event and here's 5 minutes. I guess I'll talk to you for a bit. We hung out for like 3.5 hours, which was like way longer than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, we were just having such a good conversation. We went to my favorite restaurant, which is called the Woodbury Kitchen.
Yeah, I've been there. It's good stuff.
It's real good.
It's a really nice looking place.
It's like just got a gorgeous layout. All the food there is like local, farm fresh, and yeah, very San Francisco-y. But yeah,
great. What great way to show him something that he doesn't know.
But like it's all local food,
Yeah.
so that's why I was
did he eat crab cakes? Because apparently that's all we're good for.
No, it's good because like he's like, I'm not really in the mood for seafood. I'm like, okay, good, because like this is like locally sourced steak and chicken, and like down to the beer and the cocktails and the ingredients for all that is all like local, which is really cool. So you're getting a taste of the East Coast when you go there, even if it is kind of like the same style as maybe like a San Francisco restaurant, but it's not as pretentious.
Mm.
Yeah, it was really fun. The waitress was a character. One of the servers there was a big fan of Greg Miller.
Oh yeah,
which was hilarious. He talked about like the server comped him like a free side dish.
oh cool.
And, like came up and said, "Hey, big fan." Yeah, it's just like that guy. He's just like this majestic sea of confidence that is like super. It's like just a super nice vibe to get off of somebody. Like when the one server said, "Oh, I'm a big fan," brought over the thing, our waitress came up and she's like, "Apparently one of you is famous. Which one of you is the famous one?" And Greg's like, "I am," and I'm like, "He is." And he just holds out his hand. It's like, "Hi, Greg Miller. Nice to meet you." And then he winks. I'm like, "God, he's just a beautiful, charming man."
That man's gonna be a villain one day.
I feel like he is in the wrestling ring.
True. See, that's how you know he's charismatic.
But yeah, it was just a great time. Talked about video games and the video game industry and family and friends and everything under the sun.
Must be weird now, because if you're gonna be mini Greg Miller, like we established you as mini Greg Miller back when Greg Miller was in the industry proper.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's being mini Greg Miller now mean?
Well, I mean, he's like a general host now. He's not specific to video games, I guess. That's what he said. So, yeah, I told him like I've had like a lot of people call me the next generation's Greg Miller. And he's like, "Good, because you are." I'm like, so yeah, he's very sweet. He was very full of flattery. So, and we had a cute little date. It was adorable. There's a good picture up on Twitter and Instagram. I'll tell you what, like he drops this Instagram post that says, "Hey, this kid's gonna be big, follow now," and with the hashtag ground floor. And I've just since like over 120 Instagram followers, I'm like, I just post weird selfies and food on Instagram. This is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was super sweet. So yeah. Thank you to Greg. If he ever watches this, he probably won't. But
you don't know. Greg,
don't
our
know.
#1 fan.
He's watched like assorted other mini things that I've put out, and episodes of the podcast. So You never know.
Never know with that guy.
You never know with that guy. I'm excited to see him again next week. But I'm sure people, it's funny. Let's talk about Jacob Bryant, our good friend.
Okay.
He I love him to death. He's like, I was pacing around like a parent who just sent his kid on their first date. This is his quote. He was texting me about it, and he just wanted to know how it went. I'm like, yeah, it went really well. He instilled some wisdom. He's like, I'm sure a lot of people, I'm sure you'll have to recount the dinner a million times next week. A Kind of Funny Live too. And I said, yeah, but I'll probably, just get like the brief version and share with my closer friends kind of everything that did happen. And he said, and this was very wise of him. He said, even then, I'd keep a lot of things just for you, Don't want to tarnish the experience by giving it to everyone. I'm like, that's some wise words from Jacob Bryant.
Jacob Bryant went to go write for Variety, and now he's all wise and shit.
Yeah. He's made it big writing for like some huge fucking website. He's cooler than us. Writing those Fear the Walking Dead recaps.
Crushing him.
Crushing them.
I have a question.
I miss Jacob Bryant.
What question do you have?
Why are the automatic tweets that YouTube sends out on our Twitter for when we go live in German?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I'm pretty sure
That's a good question. Just really? Like, why?
The last time it went out in Italian.
Yeah, I know.
Not kidding.
I saw that, and now I was like, maybe Alex is just being nuts.
No, I don't.
And then-
I don't automate those tweets.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. I could pre-write something so like that way I know it goes out in English, but it's hard to find that page.
Yeah, like when you did the spoiler cast for Uncharted,
Mhm.
that was also in a different language.
Yeah, I think that was in Italian.
Spanish or something.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay.
So here we are. But yeah, I don't know if you guys had any specific questions about.
Well, if
what
you
it's like to
do
use.
find that page,
Yeah.
you have to put out the next one in Latin.
Okay, I can probably figure it out. But yeah, I guess I'll take that as a no. Then.
Nope. Well, not really. Like you said, I mean, there's only so much to talk about before it was really you and Greg. Like,
It was just us
touching
talking.
hearts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I want to know what you were talking about because
Were you docking?
it's the special part of you going out to talk to him.
Yeah.
Hey, I already asked the important question earlier.
Yeah.
You married yet?
We're not married yet.
I was like, I only know.
I feel like he would marry Colin before he would marry me, but it's a sweet
Considering
thought.
their domestic living situation is a bit closer to you, and you're like the side piece,
Yeah, that's okay. I'm like I'm the trophy wife.
right? You're what he's hanging out with on the East Coast.
Yeah, exactly. East Coast loving. I can live with that. All I have to say to like people who there are a lot of people. Greg gets a lot of shit. Okay, fair enough. Like there was one thing, like you hear about him, like maybe like being super locked into like social media and stuff. He wasn't on his phone at all, which I thought was super cool. He was like super engaged, just talking back and forth. Except for when we sent that tweet out, that we were out having dinner, and just like he's a very genuine person. It was cool to just talk to him like more casually as opposed to, again, like I said, kind of more formally where there were people around listening. This was just two people talking. He is exactly how you imagine he would be. Like the himself that he puts out there on podcasts and whatever is totally him. Because I know people are curious. And yeah, he's a cool guy.
I've still never met him. It's one of the.
He's a nice dude.
It's a
Last time I
bucket
met him, he said directly into my face, "Fuck you."
He did.
Because he already knows you, Tony. He
Yeah.
just looked at your fucking face. He was like, you know what?
Fucking guy.
Trevor Starkey tweeted at us with the hashtag IPQ. Just remember, I'm ordained if you do marry him. Hashtag IPQ.
So am I, actually. I have a clergy card and everything.
Really?
Yep.
Shit. Jared.
Technically, I'm Reverend Jared Green.
Apparently, according to Twitter.
But I wasn't just doing it to be funny. I am.
Okay.
Motherfucker, I have a certificate and shit.
Reverend Jerry Green.
I'm officiating one of my best friend's weddings next month.
That's awesome. In other news of my week, I got my Ninja Sex Party Under the Covers album.
I saw that.
My signed album, finally. The UPS, it was like delivered to UPS in like April. And then they delivered it to the post office, and the post office delivered to the wrong address.
Nice.
So just through the time span it took of that person returning to the post office and then the post office being like, oh, whoops, and then getting it to me.
That usually takes a long time.
Yeah, it took about a month and a half.
Because
But I got
post
it.
office is just like, oh, thanks for this package, and then like, what the fuck is this package doing here still? Oh, we should probably do something with it.
I bought a China Don't Care shirt,
Nice.
and that happened with that shirt, and I never got it.
Aww.
So I spent $20 on that shirt.
It's all right. You can wear it in your dreams.
In my dreams, I do every night. How do you guys feel about starting the podcast?
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Everybody got Audacity ready?
What's Audacity?
Audacity, your preferred recording platform.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, good, Tony. I'm
What?
glad. It's just like this long pause. It's like, yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah, I got there. It's cool. Jarrett, Scott?
Yeah.
Swag. On one.
All right.
Actually, I want to make, I checked earlier, but I want to double check, make sure my audio is fine.
Okay.
It is.
All right.
On one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This seems bad.
What happened?
Okay, fixed it. We need to restart.
Oh, we need to restart?
Apparently, it decided to pause at the same time I pressed record, so
There are 10 people watching right now. I don't know.
I'm glad. I'm glad they're here to witness me not being able to start a recording properly. I'm
Give all these viewers and then Tony to fuck it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Everybody reset?
Yeah.
On one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Tonight I'm drinking Harpoon's Big Squeeze UFO.
Tonight I am drinking
It's very good.
classic Bud.
I drink all my drink
The bud.
already.
You're drinking Bud Light?
No, I said classic, yo.
Classic Bud. Budweiser?
Mm-hmm. It's the wiser of the two.
The Weiser. Yeah, there we go. What are you drinking, Jarrett?
Let's see. Mahalo Apollo. It is Iron Hill Brewery's Summer Ale.
Iron Hill
They sell
local?
in cans, apparently.
Is Iron Hill local?
Iron Hill is a chain up and through, like, Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, I think in New York as well. I don't think it goes down as far as Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know a startling fact, Alex?
Yeah.
So if I go into my iPhone, then I go into settings, and go into the battery section, and then I switch the chart of where I used my cell phone's power
Yeah.
from last 24 hours to last 7 days. And then I click the clock next to it to tell me how long I've spent on my favorite apps.
Here we go.
So number one is Clash of Clans.
I know. It is.
And it's 50% of my total battery usage over the last week.
God.
I've spent on screen for 16.8 hours.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah. And second place is YouTube with 3 hours.
Yeah, but that's whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody uses YouTube.
And
Gotta get on
then
YouTube.
and then Overcast with 16 minutes on screen and 6.2 hours in the background. So there you go. 16.8 hours of Clash of Clans this week.
Swag.
Which is a lot of that is just me having it open and not doing anything.
Did any other news happen, Jarrett? I just made the doc
mean,
before we started.
A bunch did. I just don't know how much of it is all that relevant to the people here. I tried to pick ones that may just like spark a discussion.
Is my audio buzzing at times?
I don't think it has yet, but
Namshin says it is. He's watching. Have you guys heard anything?
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, I guess we'll wait and see. If you hear something, let me know. I'll have to stop my recording and turn off my mixer and all that. Let's see. Are you talking about the Pascal stuff, Jared?
What's up?
The Pascal, like the
I
graphics
mean,
card
I'm
stuff?
certainly willing to talk more about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I don't know like, how interesting that would be for the panel,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, like
Tony's
but it
pretty.
is news.
Scott and Tony know quite a bit about it. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't, I don't-
we were geeking out about it earlier, I think a week ago now.
yeah, and the Destiny
Yep.
2 or the Destiny expansion league thing.
Right.
Um, that's pretty big.
That's in there.
Oh, that's in there. Okay, good. 2DS you had. We can you guys can talk about the graphics card stuff. I just know what Scott's told us.
Right. I don't think I did a good job of explaining it
Yeah,
on the
I
show
don't.
before.
I think it was more just Scott and I talking to each other because we just already know about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And we don't have to like do a full explanation, but
Sure, I'm more than willing to go into more detail if you want me to.
but like just a brief kind of rundown and the kind of prices of the new graphics cards. That's pretty big. So
They are pretty nice.
yeah, very affordable options by
That's
comparison.
what I'm. I figured like my tax return for next year, computer.
Solid
I'm
choice.
buying it in 2 weeks.
Scott's
This-
just like, I'm getting on ground floor. Let's go.
You're gonna have a
Yeah,
VR ready computer.
This computer right now is. It was okay. I guess I found out not too long ago that it was built on 10-year-old parts. Good 10-year-old parts, but 10-year-old parts nonetheless. So now everything's starting to die. Just straight up 10.
Sounds right.
Oh, Batman Arkham
So
confirmed.
I'm trying to get a new computer before it tanks.
Well, I mean, technically, you've already got some stuff, so you can just replace instead of like buying a whole system.
Yeah,
Which
well,
is
kind
nice.
of.
Yeah. Like when I get my computer, since I've just been using a laptop for years, it'll be a whole thing, whole shebang.
Yeah, it is
I
really
think I'm going to end up having to do the entire thing. Because, of course, the motherboard has to absolutely go.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
the biggest thing.
got-
The power supply can barely run everything that I have hooked up to it.
I'm just waiting for Scott to
Um,
say, and I also need a really dope case.
I do.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I also need a really dope case.
Yep.
there we go. Thank
There we
you.
go. And
How dope is too dope, though?
when you pass out.
Oh, okay.
That's how you know you've had too much dope.
I mean, makes sense.
All right, I think I got all the relevant news. Thank you, viewers, for bearing with us for a hot minute there.
Whatever, viewers.
Whatever. Get out.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, I mean, like they're not bothering us, man.
Who even are you?
I know, but
But we
trying
don't
to,
have to know. They're not bothering us.
trying to put on a good show for him.
I mean, they all came to the gun show.
The Barrett says I do crackle every once in a while.
Well-
So I'm gonna switch chords.
Probably get on that.
Let's just stop recording since we haven't actually started the show yet.
But that was quality material.
Stopping the recording is what's happening right now.
Yes. I mean, that's literally what I just did, so hopefully it's what's happening right now.
All right, are we just deleting it?
Yeah.
Yay.
Give me a sec. All right. Get wrecked the last 7 minutes. Quality. This whole thing.
They're getting what they're tuning in for right now. Getting that quality live stream.
Yeah.
There we go.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to me. Sorry, I had to restart when I changed my mic back.
What a jerk.
If anybody out there, I know, big dick.
Yep.
Big old dick butt.
Eagled Bolnair.
My big bone there.
I don't remember what that's from.
It's from the weird Suda 51 Shinji Mikami game. Shadows of the Damned.
Because I remember that being really funny, but I couldn't remember what game it was from.
Yep. His gun was called his boner.
I remember.
So when he killed enemies, occasionally he said, "Taste my big bone there."
Yes. It's pretty
I
good.
kind of want to go back and finish that game.
It's still good.
Yeah, that game's all right. I just kind of burnt out on it.
That's fair.
Whoa, shit. Somebody getting killed back there?
I guess.
Scott?
That wasn't me.
Jarrett?
Wasn't me.
I mean,
I
it
hope
was,
not,
my,
since
it
someone
was
is
someone
actually
in my
getting killed.
house. I just don't know what's going on out there.
Hey, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a timeline that we could all subscribe to.
Okay. On one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. My
God.
Audacity errored out.
Why? How are you doing?
Because I unplugged my
I'm
mic and
running
plugged
on
it back
4
in.
gigs of RAM here. It's like, how is your computer the one that's having problems?
It was because I unplugged my mic and I didn't resync it to Audacity. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's true. That would be Audacity's problem.
It would be Audacity's problem. On one. Last time, I swear. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do that. Let's start.
Are we ready?
I'm getting a lot of weird tweets for this show. Hashtag IPQ. Let me...
Go for it. Like right now, let's do it.
Well, we just got one from Cameron with a picture of his gaming rig.
Hold on.
And he wanted to know. He tweeted at Tony and IrrationalPod and wanted to know how dope that rig was by comparison.
It's pretty good.
Certifiably dope.
It's pretty good. Check out the NZXT H440. That's the case.
Put a bunch of extra cables in there.
It doesn't. It literally makes no difference how shitty your cable management is, though. So
Yep. Put extra cables. Toss them in.
Yes.
Just throw cables in there.
Actually,
Loose cables.
Scott, I was showing Scott a case study that a YouTube channel that I've recommended on the show a while ago, Linus Tech Tips, did on how bad cable management affects your performance on your computer, and they found that even if they put in all of the cables that came with the computer,
As well as some stuffed animals.
as well as a stuffed Snoopy, a shirt, something else, and
Duct tape.
some duct tape, a football. They put all that in the computer, then it still made no difference. So you can put a stuffed Snoopy in your computer tower, and you'll be all right. That's the conclusion I want everyone to walk away from.
I want to
the show.
know about stuff Snoopy and what he's getting up to.
He's inside computers, apparently.
He's getting fucked. He just wants to get fecked.
Yeah.
We are starting the show proper
Yeah, check out the second screen experience with the Twitter. That's tweet's about to go out.
right now. That it is. The tweet is out. It's lit.
Oh, here we go. Hide your 3DS in there.
Yeah, there you go. Get
I'm
that
surprised
wireless
that-
charge.
I'm surprised that tweet didn't come out in some European language.
That was
There's
from
still
my
time.
account, so. And now Nabishin texted me and said, "You should Instagram that you're podcasting right now." I'm
Yeah,
sure
dude.
Greg Miller gave you a huge follow boost.
I like that Nobishin is just your agent, really.
He is. He's my
He's your
A-man.
publicist.
He is always giving me ideas and saying hey, you should do this and you
He's
should.
just trying to help you.
He's my dude. We are
Nobishin's everybody's
live
dude.
with episode 278 of IPP right now.
Right now.
Jared John is on.
Yes.
I mean,
After a couple of false starts, yes, Trevor, thank you. We are actually starting. All right.
Are you positive?
Yes. I'm recording. People watching and you all, let me know if I get all staticky.
Okay.
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 It is Saturday, May 21st, 2016, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I'm your host, Alex O'Neill, and with me this week I have Scott Guthier.
Hello.
Tony Horvath.
God, Scott, I really need you to get some variety in that.
No. Once every couple months.
Once every couple months, a little sprinkle.
Once every couple months.
I was honestly just hoping that Scott would come out with the big check out my big bull there.
Check out my dope rig.
Once every couple months.
I would probably just leave and be like, well, no need for me.
Scott's got it covered. Filling the void in all of our hearts. That is Brian Albishan Jackson, who continues his absence because he's currently making money to travel to San Francisco next week. We have Jarrett Green.
He's literally printing the money.
He's actually printing money.
So really, he's just making counterfeit dollars.
Have you seen Ocean's 11?
And now you set the
He's doing
cost
that.
on them.
Possible.
Good job.
He's just trying to
Good
save
job.
up so that he can fly Delta One across the country.
Remember in the first chapter of Sly 2,
So, throw it
when Jared's like, all right, deep pull, cool. When the Dimitri, the weird purple lizard, was using the clocktail tail feathers, the clockwork tail feathers
only
to print money.
only a little bit, only vaguely,
That's what Nobishin's doing.
something like that. I think he's being a cartoon lizard.
He's also selling drugs to a bunch of people in his club so that they can use the Northern Lights to mind control them. That's a weird game.
Sounds right.
It's all right. I like it. Welcome back, Jarrett.
Thanks.
Hey, it's your birthday week.
It is.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
We covered a
If
lot.
If it's your birthday, even you can host on.
If it's Sherbert Day,
Lord.
good Lord, why did I agree?
What
with
did I
this? You did a lot to deserve this. Clearly, if you're just tuning in to the audio version or the live version, I don't know. If you're just
so whatever. Yeah.
keep in mind there's a good 30-40 minutes of bonus content we have this week. We do bonus content every week. It's in the video version, which is on youtube.com/irrationalpassions, basically before we start recording.
It's right at the beginning, so you don't have to look too hard.
Yeah, you don't have to look too hard. So if you already listen to the audio show, you can just go right to the video and get to the bonus content right away. It's like, it's our warm-up act. It's us like kind of catching up with each other, talking about our weeks.
It's literally just Scott doing stand-up comedy for 30 minutes.
Oh my God, how great. We should do that for bonus content one time.
Yeah.
Get like a bunch of...
Man, you're gonna make me prepare for a show.
Dude, Scott, all you have to do is
So Undertale, right?
Responsible. Asking too much.
So Undertale, am I left? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, we talked about Jarrett's birthday, failed PS3 Let's Plays, my date with Greg Miller, and Scott's stand-up comedy routine, as is every week.
It's literally just Scott reciting Aziz Ansari's jokes.
But like with Scott's
Which would
cadence.
also still be great.
It would still be really fun.
I'm pretty sure it was a single big joke.
Yeah, he just like sends you a picture of his penis. It's like, that's how cold you are, but this is Scott saying it's.
That's how cold you are.
We've got a good show.
I should just
Lined
like
up.
pick one of you and save you as liquid nitrogen in my phone.
Because that's how cold we are.
That's a good idea, actually.
That's how Jarrett saved in my phone. Until today, Jarrett was saved as Jarrett and then IP in parentheses as his last name.
Nice.
Because it was before I cared about your last names.
You're just like, yeah, someone
Now
from
I'm bigger than IP, son of a bitch.
Yeah, now you're bigger than me. You're too good. I bragged about you to Greg Miller also. I'll have you know.
Was it like good brag or bad brag?
It was good. I talked about your fixing gaming's blacklistness article.
That's a throwback.
It is a throwback. It's a great article. It's on IrrationalPassions.com. If anybody's watching or listening gets a chance, you should read it. It's very good. I just talked about being proud to have a platform where something like that could get published. So,
It's tough to do nowadays.
it is tough, unfortunately. We got a good show. As I said before, Jarrett's here, so you know we're gonna
Hey,
get
Jarrett.
some shenanigans.
Hey.
Hey. We've got video games to talk about. Probably something to do with Valkyria Chronicles, Street Fighter, the Dark Souls. News happened. Some Destiny news. Something about Gran Turismo Sport is in here. I don't know.
Something.
And graphics cards. We're gonna nerd out about that. Or Scott and Tony are at the very least. Voicemails. You can tweet your questions while the show goes on if you're watching live or just for the next upcoming show. At IrrationalPod with the hashtag IPQ if you don't want to send us an email or voicemail. Those are always valid options. And then we're going to throw it out. So how about we get things started with some housekeeping.
Okay.
Some things went up on the website. Tony published a PAX article. Oh, wait. No, he didn't.
We
Got
talked
him.
about this.
Tony didn't even
Don't you
ask
have to
me.
do that, Tim?
Yeah. Don't you?
What?
Don't you?
What?
Isn't there like a press thing? Remember?
Yeah, Tony remembers.
Mhm.
Tony remembers.
What was the timeline for that?
I don't know.
Well,
They didn't give a time.
Technically, you're just supposed to produce content, and we produce content every week. So
So Tony's like, I'm just gonna scrape under the gun on this
it's
one.
it's not like I don't want to write about stuff. Like we talked about it last week. So, but I can bring it up again. I was working on a couple things, but the one that I put the most work into, I just kind of like it was with a game that I just ended up really not having a good experience with, and I wasn't really happy with what I had made, so I just wasn't gonna post it. Basically, is where we're at.
Fair enough. We do have a great cover art for last week's show that involves Tony though.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Don't sell that shit short. I feel like my picture choice for that was 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
If you missed it, Monthly Passions podcast for April is up. Jerry, you host that.
Yeah.
I do.
Jared was like, I'll have Tony on like 1 week and then just never ask him again.
Well, I try to spread out the guests because everyone's playing different things.
I didn't know I was a guest.
Well, it's Jared's goddamn show.
I know.
It's hard to get people to come back because I don't know what games they're playing when they plan to play them. So like, that's like an unforeseen thought that I didn't have until I started doing this. Is figuring out, yes, they might be playing Uncharted, but when are they going to play Uncharted?
I'm really pissed because I haven't gotten the chance to listen to it yet. And you had two really awesome guests. The video game DJ himself, DJ Cutman.
Yes.
To talk about Hyper Light Drifter, which is dope.
It is dope.
And
Cutman's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's super cool dude.
I met him a couple times. He's in the area, actually. He's local. He's in Philly.
That's cool. Everything I've heard about him makes him sound like the coolest dude. And of course, Ali Mushka to talk about Dark Souls 3. And we have my feature about Uncharted 4 went up. Again, I'd say it's a feature. It is kind of a review, kind of not, right? There's no score on it. It is, in a lot of ways, a critique. I didn't have a lot of issues with the game. But we talked about some of the issues that I did kind of run into on the Uncharted 4 spoiler cast, which you can go listen to on youtube.com/irrationalpassions. I'm going to make a website post for that at some point this weekend, hopefully, as well. So,
You mean the Irrational Passions writing team reunion sans Jared Green?
When you tweeted that, I came to the realization, and I feel terrible. But had you beaten Uncharted 4 yet?
At that point, no, I hadn't actually.
So, like, you couldn't have been on it anyway.
I mean, I could have moved some things around.
I could have adjusted my schedule.
Probably not actually, but
you were missed. Oh, I posed an idea on Twitter earlier that I'm actually really excited about that we have to do. So the writers' reunion will happen in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of my Uncharted feelings and Uncharted 4 critique piece. It just kind of goes into how I feel about the game, how I feel about the series, where the series has been with me at different points in my life. And not only can you read the feature, you can also listen to it. after a few requests, I was like, hey, this could be fun. So you can go and there's a SoundCloud link in there. You can listen to the article as you read along, or just listen to it, or just read it. I did the same thing for my 100th day of writing growing up with a generation piece, which still ends up. I'm really proud of that. And then of course, all of our PAX stuff is still up there. Tons of previews about many different variety of game. So worth checking out. Did you check out any of those previews, Jared? I'm just curious.
The previews I did. I didn't see your. I didn't read your impressions on Uncharted 4 yet, because I didn't want to spoil myself before I got to the ending.
Yeah.
Now that I'm there, I want to go back and do all that stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool. That's it. That's it for housekeeping. How about we get this show started? For realsies. Scott.
Oh boy, are you gonna be disappointed?
Have you been playing any video games, Scott?
I got a story for today.
Okay.
So
now you got a fucking story.
How am I
Bonus
ever going to be
content.
disappointed?
Bonus content's just like, oh, fucking look at this place again. But
so
here we are.
I know I haven't been playing a lot recently.
Yes.
So I was like, you know what? There's a game.
There's a game.
There's a game that I was supposed to be playing. There's a game that I wanted that I was supposed to be playing that is also available to me.
Okay.
Why is that not happening yet? School's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought about it for a little bit. Now I remembered what game it was.
Yeah.
Bravely Second.
Bravely Second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember this game?
I do. Well, I remember
You-
Bravely,
you
Bravely
are-
Default.
You forgot about it, and now you're surprised that I haven't been playing it already.
Well, I mean, it came out in April, and you mentioned last week that this week you'd be playing Bravely Second.
Yeah, it's true.
But I had forgotten about it since then, so yes. Until this very moment.
So yeah, I go. This is yesterday. I go, I buy it. I start downloading it. I come back a little bit later, and I forgot to plug it in, and then it turned off mid-download.
Good.
It's like, shit.
Great.
So
File
then
corrupted.
it had to re-download start from the beginning.
Yep.
So it's like, damn it. So I go and I do that, and this time nothing really went wrong.
Except for everything.
It's just that I had two things happen yesterday. I forget what store. No. A giant nearby had a grand opening. You know how those are.
No?
The grand opening of any store, their
It's
sales.
a grocery store.
Right? Like,
The grand opening of any store, their sales.
It's
Yeah.
like people get excited to go buy food.
You know how those are.
Yeah.
So, of course, guess who wants to drag me off to the Giant?
Your parents?
Exactly.
They're like, come on, Scott.
It's specifically me. They go by. I walk downstairs. They go right by Casey, right by Sean. Say, come on, Scott. Let's
You're
go to
like,
the
I
Giant."
know who would love this. Scott.
I was like, fine.
Scott, I hear you're a big fan of the Jizzity Giant.
Not me.
The Jizzity Giant.
Jizzity with a G. Get
Like,
your mind out of the gutter.
Fine.
Nope, it's gonna
And
stay
of course,
in
it
the gutter,
takes
please.
way longer to get. Not nearly enough.
Yeah.
And then that is also when I found out that I was working the next day.
Oh, good. And so, like, you had to get up in the morning.
Yep.
You had to go to sleep before midnight.
Yep.
Preferably. So, Bravely Second is downloaded and installed. You just haven't touched it all yet.
It's ready to go. I just. Yeah.
I expect a full report on where you're at with the game next
Next week?
week, Scott.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Good. Good. Is anything else you've touched at all?
Not really.
Other than like a full ham in a giant grocery store. You're
My
just like
computer
walking down the
can't
grocery store
reliably
aisle.
play
Other than
games
a jar of
anymore.
mayonnaise, maybe to check the price and expiration date.
Yeah. He's touched, all right.
I
Scott,
mean,
let me tell
okay,
you
that's
about my
not.
jar of
I guess
mayonnaise.
it's not entirely true. I did get into Smash a little bit.
Okay.
Found out something great.
What's that?
You know the tree, the villager chops down.
Yeah.
An enemy villager can pocket the tree.
Yep. This is the true thing that you can do. And just lay it out on somebody.
Yep.
Jesus. That game is great. Fuck the haters, Jared.
I'm not a hater.
I like he's like 6 miles away from it. Hey, I didn't say that.
Yeah, I was under my desk. I'm not a hater.
What is your cat doing that you have to like?
Oh, as another fun fact,
Pulls things off my shelf and
hey
shit.
Alex, this is a fact that you're not gonna like.
Okay.
Guess what Smash game they found the new mechanic in?
What, Super Smash Bros. Fucking Melee?
Yep,
Of course.
it's called velocity canceling.
Of course it is. The
Why
next...
why can't they just let Melee die?
Because it's so good.
Because they just found out about velocity canceling.
Nintendo's not going to support it. No one cares, except the 3 people who play this game professionally.
my some of my friends who are like not super into video games were way into competitive Melee play.
Well,
Like,
one of my best friends,
a year
Brian,
ago.
is like super into Melee.
Tell Brian he's a fuck.
I do often.
For a variety of reasons.
Yeah, for many reasons, but usually because of Melee.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, Scott. You're off the hook. At least you had a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Everyone
Jared
wants
Green.
to know about new grocery stores when they open up.
Scott should start a YouTube show on our channel that is a grocery bag show.
It's got the inside line on
Can
grocery
we have him
stores.
do grocery hauls?
Please, yes.
It's like supermarket sweep, but he's not buying
Yeah,
anything.
but like Scott's like
I feel like those are like way too invasive.
Scott's like I got these Cheez-It grooves. They were a buy one, get one.
It'll be like the audio videos. Or the audio
Here we go. I got these Cheez-Its grooves. I'm gonna shoot them out of my potato cannon.
It'll be like Bioshock.
It'd be like Bioshock.
Just
What?
windows into your life.
Yeah, just like the camera, the way the intro for the show is like the camera comes down slowly into like an underwater sea, and it's like the little circular window, and then you go into the window, and it zooms in Scott in his kitchen with fucking big paper grocery bags.
Yep.
This is the greatest idea we've ever had.
I think that's internet gold right there.
Scott's Hall. Tell you what.
Just lean back and let the YouTube money roll in.
That's right.
It's like the Irrational Passions, a YouTube channel about video games. Why is there a grocery haul show on here? I don't know, but I love it.
Yep, time to watch and subscribe.
And subscribed. Jared Green.
Hi.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Do you regret the decision to come on the show yet?
No, but I'm sure when we're pushing like 3 hours and I'm like, somebody out there like me is like, I'm not going to listen to 3 hours of the show.
I was very appreciative that you did listen to last week's show, though.
I did.
Did you listen to the whole thing, or just?
I did.
I'm glad that you confirmed. Oh, we did get confirmation. Olympics, glorified fuck fest.
100% nothing going
100%
on except fuck at all times.
Fucking straight
A
fucking
friend of mine went to the ones in Sydney, and he knew like a camera crew for, I forget who was like the big sports like website at the time, but he was there with them with press passes.
Mhm.
It was just like putzing around Olympic City, and there's like literally like condom dispensers like every couple feet, just in case you forget that maybe you don't want to go get somebody pregnant here, because you won't be fucking.
Because you're fucking.
Dudes are coming in with like trucks with like alcohol, like motherfuckers are getting in like immediately after like this festivities.
Fair enough. Yeah, multiple people. You, Silver PR, a couple other people tweeted at me directly saying, "Can confirm."
Yes.
Fuckfest. And you also confirmed that the Devil May Cry game, the reboot, was better than all 4 of the other
Yes.
ones.
And it's a shame that it's going to get buried because Capcom doesn't know what the fuck to do with themselves.
Yeah,
But
they
it's
don't
like-
even know how to make a Street Fighter game. You would figure that was like.
Or a Resident Evil game. Like, people are pretty much tell them, hey, this is what we want out of a Resident Evil game. Just do this again. and we don't even care if it's good. Just do it. And they're like, nah, but we do like everything you hate. So Resident Evil 6.
As a person who has been playing Resident Evil 6 with Jacob Bryan, they real fucking screwed the pooch on that one.
That's a rough game.
That's a rough time. It's a real fun let's play to watch if you have the downtime though. Jared, what have you been playing?
Everybody else has been playing.
Sure.
Uncharted 4.
What do you think of Uncharted 4?
I think it's fine.
Mm-hmm. You're not on the hype train. You're not on the super bandwagon.
No, and I'm kind of sad that I think a lot of things in this first wave of sort of critique of Uncharted, there's been a lot of...
If you're going to call me an asshole, why don't you just say it to my face, huh?
No, I just don't think people are thinking about Uncharted the way I want them to.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just teasing.
I think it's getting a lot of breaks for some things I don't think it does very well, and things I don't think Uncharted has ever really done very well.
Mm-hmm. Such as
people don't like the gunplay because it's pretty much just a shooting gallery, and they're right. But in that series, that's the only time I ever feel challenged by Uncharted at all in any way. It's in the combat. Traversal is fun to do, but it's not difficult to do. There's no real puzzling going on. It's not asking you to figure things out. It's pretty much asking you to observe and kind of just walk and find other ways to do things. Like, moving around doesn't challenge you like a platformer would.
Yeah.
I'm not challenged much by the story. Like, it's a lighthearted sort of adventure, but I know everyone's going to make it out okay, probably. There's going to be twists and turns and, all that kind of bit, but I've seen Indiana Jones, so I know things are going to be okay. And the combat, making sure I don't get shot and die is, like, the only time I really feel like I have to worry about something in that game.
Okay.
I did like how combat took some cues from Last of Us and the whole the mix of stealth and action.
Yeah.
Because people used to I had to defend Last of Us stealth a lot because it's not a stealth game like a Tenchu or Metal Gear where you primarily want to stay in stealth and not get caught. Yeah. Stealth was more like a means to an end. Like, end of the day, everybody in that room had to die, and the further along you got, the easier it would be for them to find you. So it was more like, instead of staying hidden, it's more like being quick in stealth instead of like trying to use stealth tricks to move everybody around. Yeah. I like that Uncharted kind of distills that, and it's really just about moving smart and moving fast, not necessarily just manipulating stealth.
Yeah, I think
so. It's another layer, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think generally like the movement aspect of combat is way more fun. Right. It's interesting because we did the spoiler cast, right? We did talk about the mechanics and the frustrations a lot of the panel had with that. Where it's like, I played on normal, right? I was just just playing it to play it, right? And most of the people there played it on hard, and it really is like a privilege to have that kind of sense of movement on normal, right? You can take a lot more. So right. Being able to move through combat, like never stop, like shoot a guy a couple times, punch him, take his gun, swing, fall on a guy, take him out, and then roll, climb, or whatever you need to do to get back in stealth, rinse and repeat, but never stop moving. Like, that was something I could do on normal that isn't as easy to do or pull off on hard. So I thought that was interesting. But I like that, kind of like the base mode, right? Normal, I guess, if you want to build off of that there is a feeling of momentum that is really, really right. Cool.
And stealth is like, you have lots of options in combat. You could stay in stealth and find strategic entries into where you're going and, find the high priority targets and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And do it smart, or just pull out a gun and, blast everybody in front of you, or do a intelligent mix of both. Like, you have these options there. It's the only time I feel in that game where you're given lots of tools and you can use them creatively.
Yeah. I did like it, just to speak to the climbing aspect, I did like that there were multiple paths you could take this time around. There wasn't, sometimes there are, a lot of times there weren't, like just one set path, right? Like, you look at like Uncharted 2, right? It's always the exact same path every time you're trying to get somewhere. Whereas this is like, it's a little bit wider. It's not a lot wider, but it's right. A little bit wider.
I kind of just feel like the open worldliness that they were kind of teasing doesn't really like grant you much more than a different scene to see while you're getting to the same point, which is fine. It's not a bad thing. Like I said, you play Uncharted, you know why you're playing Uncharted when you play it. Um, but that doesn't mean
that you have to like
it's
it.
yeah. I have to like I can't call it on it.
Yeah,
But I like Uncharted. It's not a 10 for me.
yeah. It worked way more for me than I thought it would. Right? I thought I would be like, okay, this is the fourth of these. I've been through this, but like they mix it up just enough, right? So that kind of like the repetitious nature of everything was, and it's been so long for me. It was fresh enough for me to really like. It never got to me. It never really bothered me.
Right. And like not to spoil anything, but the back of the Uncharted 4 box it makes an important statement that says, "quote Every treasure has its price." Now, by the end of Uncharted 4, I can't seem to find that price.
That's kind of funny.
That's pretty funny.
If somebody out there listening knows the price you pay to have the find treasure in Uncharted 4, that isn't any price that was any different in 1, 2, and 3, please let me know. Tweet me. Tweet me the price.
At Jared Green. Jared John, I guess. I don't know why I said at Jared Green. Yeah, I mean, that's totally valid. We talked about that on the spoiler cast as well, again, without spoiling anything. But if you haven't caught that, it's almost 3 hours long. It's just on our YouTube channel. I don't know if we'll put out an audio version. Probably not. We kind of stopped doing that with our spoiler casts. Maybe I'll put it up on SoundCloud so that way people who want can download it and listen to it on the go. But yeah, it's interesting. I like that game way more than I thought I would, but I don't think it's above criticism. It just like the issues people had with it weren't issues for me. Just like same with The Last of Us.
Right.
But I feel like maybe Last of Us worked more for you as well.
I think it did. And I think playing Uncharted, having Uncharted borrow a lot of that sort of production like ethos, I guess, allows me to see what I feel the differences are between those games a bit more clearly.
Yeah.
Which has kind of helped me appreciate what I like about, or what I understand to like about Uncharted, and what's there to like about Uncharted, and why, why not being over the moon about it isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like,
No.
and it also reinforces why I like Last of Us so much.
Yeah.
So it's good to play. Everyone play games. Really, is the
play a diversity of games.
Play a bunch of games so that you can have a better field of vision for the thing you think you know and like.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing in my head, just like as someone who's like a huge fan of Naughty Dog and of The Last of Us and of Uncharted 4, and I haven't been super critical of it. It was like, hey, this really works for me, right? And I worry about like giving it a pass because of these things, but like I know that there are things that really don't work for me that other people really really like, and they feel comfortable giving it a pass for them, right?
Right.
And it's like not necessarily giving it a pass. It's just like hey, this works for you. This doesn't work for me. For example, GTA. Like I've always had tons and tons of issues with GTA that a lot of people just never run into. So it really does come down to preference.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just recognizing that what can be criticism starts one place, and for a lot of people, it might start at the same place, but at the end of the day, how it affects you is, that's where the things diverge.
Yeah, it's going to come down to your opinion on things and what works for you and what doesn't. So, and I think that's cool. Like, I'm glad that there's a platform for that to speak about that.
Yes.
You started the Uncharted 4 multiplayer?
I did.
Yeah.
Is the frame rate just better in the multiplayer?
Yeah, it's 60 in multiplayer, 30 in campaign.
Okay, because I was like, this is like a different looking game. Like this game looks way better in multiplayer.
Yeah.
And it looks really good in single player. Yeah. I just noticed that I didn't think it could look better, and I was like, oh, it does at 60 frames.
I played a great deal of multiplayer. I didn't talk about it last week. You've only played the trial, the tutorial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good. You know, it runs super smooth. I haven't seen a single frame rate drop in multiplayer either. So yeah, it does look that good. I think it's just like a scale thing. Like the maps in multiplayer are relatively small. You know, they're not rendering like the skyboxes in the world like they do in single player.
Right.
So that's why I think they just locked it at 30. And the frame rate's pretty solid in the single player. I hit a couple hitches, but nothing, nothing like during action scenes.
No.
Which is odd. But yeah, the multiplayer is fun. It's like it's whatever, I guess. Like I've never been a huge Uncharted multiplayer fan. I kind of want to play a little bit more of this because they add the rope into multiplayer, and that's just really fun. And the climbing stuff, you climb way faster in multiplayer.
Yeah, you do. And they have like the melee rope attack thing.
Yep. You can charge up your rope to melee, as Scott says. And
Melee.
and like there are cool summon type things you can do in multiplayer. You can summon a sidekick.
Yeah, in the trial, you can like drop a dude with a machine gun. I was like, oh hey, bro.
Yeah, you can just drop them out of nowhere too if you have the cash, right? So you accumulate currency, kind of like in Counter Strike. You can like buy upgrades anytime on the fly. So you can buy like a mythic item, right? So it's like the El Dorado coffin from Uncharted 1, and you can throw it. It's like a big thing that shoots out attacks in like an area of effect, which is cool. A lot of them have different effects. They said they're going to add more as the series goes, or as multiplayer goes on, as well as time goes on. You can summon like a medic, right? A medic sidekick who will run around and pick people up. He doesn't attack anybody, but he picks people up if they go down, and he has a lot of health. So
That's neat.
yeah, it's actually really neat. I like the kind of summon stuff. It's kind of reminds me of like the defender kill streaks from Call of Duty,
Right.
or the support kill streaks or whatever. So I like it. I'll probably play more of it. I haven't played with anyone in particular, but
I don't know
played
how
some.
much I'm going to play of it, honestly. I just kind of wanted to step in and see what's up.
It's neat. That's all I can say about it, really. Anything else you've been playing, Jarrett?
Yeah, I didn't write it down. I've been playing Crawl, which is a early access game on Steam by guys called Powerhoof.
Okay.
Crawl is a multiplayer like dungeon crawler sort of, but the premise is one of you are alive and you need to make it out of the dungeon. The rest of you are ghosts and you possess monsters in the dungeon and try to stop them. If you're the person to kill the person who's alive, you become alive.
Yeah.
And depending on like which like deity you pick in the beginning of the game will determine the kind of creatures you can become. Like there's like portals in each room or some rooms that allow spawning of particular creatures.
Okay.
And you can like possess traps and stuff. You pretty much become the dungeon, the three of you, against the one person trying to beat you. Which is funny when you run into bosses, which are pretty much just giant monsters in multiple parts that the three people will then possess different parts of them and try to do stuff at the same time. So they're kind of working as a team, but kind of not really because they want to be the person alive. Because you can't actually win unless you're alive when you leave. And if you don't, the person has to kill the boss and like open a gate after a particular number of times. And if they don't, everybody loses. So it becomes a super big risk reward sort of kind of pseudo team game at points. It's very fun to play in parties.
Yeah, the trailer right now is awesome.
Crawl is awesome, and they're starting production like heavily again because they kind of took some time off to do some other shit. But they're getting back into it. So hopefully this actually makes a release soon, so they can actually come to consoles at some point, like it was supposed to. Because Crawl's something I was always looking forward to, and I'm glad that it's not dead.
Yeah, it's kind of like the couch co-op esque games. Yeah, I'm like just watching. Who is like scraping their fingernail across their desk?
Someone here to fuck you.
And it stopped.
It's certainly not me.
All right, Scott.
That's probably Tony.
Well, actually, no, because I just sat back down. What's up?
Get out.
All right, see ya.
It's okay, Scott. I won't call you out anymore. Yeah, it seems really neat. The reaction on Steam overall is "quote unquote" overwhelmingly positive.
It's a really cool game.
Yeah,
Well, no, I was doing was repeating the action that I was doing over and over again until
until somebody noticed.
no, until you said it was still going on. You never did, so it wasn't me.
It's probably just Jarrett's dick just rubbing up against his desk.
That's how I do. That's how I podcast. Get the slow jerk going.
Yeah, the crawl seems really dope. I like the idea of it a lot as well.
I played a game called Everspace. I read a little bit about it. It was an alpha currently. It's like Faster Than Light, but if Faster Than Light was a shooter and then a strategy game. So when you go to like location to location, instead of like showing up in this screen where you have to manage room stats and shit while you're in combat, or make Oregon Trail sort of like
Whoa.
decisions, you're actually just flying through space and like shooting shit and trying to get to the next gate and warp again.
This game is very pretty.
Everspace is a very cool game. It's very old school in the way and how it plays. It plays like a Road Squadron or something like that. Like it's
cool.
very very old school like arcade shooter, and it's funny to recognize that because then you start thinking of the last time you played a game like that, and I don't remember. Not for a long time has there been like just a straight up space shooter.
How do you have a computer that can run this?
Not at that fidelity, obviously,
Yeah,
but
it's got like
definitely
particle
creeped
effects.
through. Yeah, it's got all types of shit. Like the highest end like graphical shit is crazy. I just watched a friend of mine run it. The shit was a lot.
Yeah, it's dope.
My face was hurting afterwards.
Bet this game will look really cool in VR too.
Yeah, I think that's like the next step for them.
Okay.
After when they're trying to make it a beta so they can get it in VR and all that kind of shit. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
I like it though. It's a really cool game.
Yeah.
Played Titan Souls.
Is that game good?
Yes, but it's fucking frustrating.
Okay. There's a lot of walking back to where you
Yeah,
died.
that's a lot of my frustration is that there's really no reason for me to have to walk a minute and a half to go back to a thing that's going to kill me in 30 seconds. Like, it happens in, like, Dark Souls or whatever, but Dark Souls is like, there are things to do on the
You're
way.
immediately alive.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
like if you decide that you don't want to go back there,
You have something else to
you don't
do,
go
right?
back there.
There's something
Yeah.
else you can do. There's monsters probably in between to fight. Literally, there are no monsters to fight in Titan Souls except the bosses, and there's so much space between them. It's almost ridiculous. Why? Like, I get it. You want to, paint this picture and have me experience this environment you've so cleverly thought up,
But having a press square to retry button would also be
Yeah.
cool.
or just like drop me at the beginning of the room, just in the door, and I can just walk up and trigger the same thing again instead of me having to walk through like a mystery Zelda forest where I have to remember the fucking patterns so I don't get lost in it. Just so I can walk into a door and have something just grate me immediately. Like, I want people to understand that people have to play these games eventually.
Yeah.
And that like 2 minutes of my time to walk to your boss so I can go figure it out again.
It
not
stacks
worth
up,
it.
man.
It's not worth it. I don't want
But outside of that, it's pretty cool.
outside of that, like the idea, you have one arrow, you have to kind of put it in the right place or figure out how these bosses move and put them in like their secret spot or whatever, and figuring out how to do that. It's a very interesting like living puzzle. It's
Tell me.
just
Tell me where the
that
secret spot is.
whole thought is cool. It's just I wish everything around it wasn't so frustrating.
Yeah, I feel you. That's like, honestly, I kind of veered away from that. Even though I was really excited about it, I was like, man, it just seems like that's such a weird design flaw that would.
It is,
cause
and
me
you don't
frustration.
appreciate it till you do it a lot.
Mm. But hey, at least it looks pretty. It's got
look
that
pretty.
good pixel art. Where are you playing on Vita?
My PS4.
Okay. I wish I could play that on Vita. But my
have
right
a
stick's
Vita.
still broken. You do have a Vita.
I just don't think I've actually picked it up in a while.
You should play Persona 4 Golden. I hear the game's alright.
I tried that once.
I know.
I got like 20 hours in. I was like moving, and then I
Heard
just
something
stopped.
about that game.
Yeah, you should finish it.
don't know if I'm ever going to.
Tell me what you think about Persona 5. I'm gonna ask this to everybody who comes on for the next 6
It
months.
looks cool.
hmm
I like the UI,
Yeah, everybody does that game. It's got cool UI.
but I know I'm not going to play it.
Okay.
And
Same.
like, it's just I have nothing against Persona. I just know that Persona isn't my sort of JRPG.
Not your cup of tea.
No.
Tis
Then
the
I
way the cookie
realized that
crumbles.
what I played 4, that if I'm not going to make it through this, I'm not going to make it through 5.
Yeah.
And I'm already trying to like talk myself into 15, Final Fantasy 15, because I feel like I can't not play that game.
It's a hard sell.
I played literally all of them, all the other ones. Like, this should be the game I'm looking forward to playing because it's like a revitalization of this thing I thought was long dead.
And it's got dudes. It's got like
It's got
bros
just
on a bro
bros,
trip.
just a bro trip, doing bro stuff. They all wear black like they're in a fucking J-pop band. It's neat.
Fuck yeah. I mean, they might be in a J-pop band.
I
We
hope
don't
so.
know. That's the story.
I hope
That's the
I hope their car turns into a stage.
Yeah, what if like half the game, the second half of the game, you're just tugging around like a big, like little, like the truck thing that has all the band equipment in it?
They're actually just going on a world tour.
Dude, it's possible.
I'm probably going to play that. But
Okay,
I got to work myself up to it.
fair enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I think we should all play it. I think it's a
Yeah.
thing worth like looking into, seeing if that game can actually be good after 10 years.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 5 is on this list.
I did play that
Good game.
yesterday, in fact.
How's Guile? Is he good? How's he hanging?
Fucking Guile's funny.
He's
because
chargy.
He can
Yeah.
crouch walk, which
He
is
can.
neat.
He can. So he can
Yeah.
charge down.
If you
while
hold
walking?
down, you can literally just kind of inch your way forward.
What's
little
his
bit.
V trigger?
He pretty much puts a small sonic boom in front of him.
It's so
remains
cool.
stationarily.
Mhm.
If you follow that up with an immediate sonic boom afterwards, it actually your boom goes through this little thing you put up, and it makes the sonic boom bigger
Fuck yeah, it does.
and adds more damage and shit.
That's a
Uh,
sonic boom.
If you activate his V trigger and then you
That
do a
is
sonic boom and spam the button, you can throw like 6 sonic booms.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's awesome.
But he's fucking Guile, man. He's Street Fighter 2 Guile, really. Except, there's links and stuff, so you can actually.
He's not
do-
Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 4 Guile.
I mean, sort of. The thing with Street Fighter 4 Guile is his priorities and like the space in which his like flash kick and shit can hit was so ridiculous that unless like if you were trying to play anyone that had any real air engages, you're pretty much over. So you were kind of when people pick Guile, you were pretty much like left with 10 or 15 counter picks that were going to be okay. Everybody else is like, well, there's no point. If I get the ground, I'm dead.
Better
And
pick Guile.
This
Better
Guile,
pick Guile into Guile.
yeah, this Guile doesn't feel that way.
Okay.
He definitely has some nonsense that I was watching on YouTube though. So
All Guiles have nonsense.
they really do.
Hey, have you
Guiles
heard
are
his theme?
nonsense.
Come on.
But I like him. It was weird that he wasn't that Charlie came before him, but I feel like they did Charlie as an excuse not to do Guile, but then just kind of did Guile. So I was like, oh, I don't really know why we did this then.
Yeah, but Charlie doesn't, or Nash doesn't charge, right? So,
I don't think so.
Not really, no.
no. I think he has one charge move. But
Yeah, he has a charge. I just don't remember what it is. But
But
yeah,
he
he's not
just
the
fucking
he's not
Sonic-
the chargey Guile, but he has the same sort of attack philosophies, like anti-airs, long range, quick pokes with the sonic boom that kind of float a little bit.
But kind of like with Ryu and Ken in 5, like I imagine there are enough differences between the two.
Yeah, they're definitely different characters. Nash is definitely more mobile
Mhm.
than Guile.
It's not like Ken though; he can't just fucking straight up run towards you.
Yeah, really, and like fly through the air with a hurricane kick.
Fuck yeah, that's so
But-
cool.
But yeah, I like Guile. He's funny. I like
His
Alex
theme goes
more.
with everything.
It really does.
This is his theme in this game.
Just some.
It's actually a pretty good remix version of it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's acceptable. It's acceptable.
You're not gonna put Guile in the game without some weird remix of his.
That's
acting,
what our
right?
that's what our break music should be. Guile's theme.
You're right. It goes in everything,
It goes
including
with everything.
Irrational Passion's
Just
break.
mix it with Space Jam.
Dun, 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 jam.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, it's really fucking good.
All right, well, I know what's gonna be my breakaway into the music career.
So
Go on.
there is a
Watch
really good
music.
mashup of that on YouTube, and that's the music that I listen to when I do my war attacks in Clash of Clans.
Why?
Now
Right.
all you have to do is
Gives me pumped.
mix that song with Thomas the Train Engine. Make it funny.
Could you even like? How does one get pumped for Clash of Clans?
Dude.
Don't. Why would you ask that?
Yeah,
Why
Yeah,
you were one of the
don't-
people, one of
don't
the many
go there.
people that tweeted at me and said, "Great, glad I know about all this Clash of Clans shit." So why would you come on this show and instigate it?
I don't know. Whenever I get close to Tony, I just feel like I need to fight him.
fair. That's fucking fair.
It's totally valid.
Boot up the Street Fighter.
Yeah, let's get up Street Fighter. Let's get it done.
Oh, you didn't know that we've been doing that the whole time.
The whole show.
Whole show.
What's the win-loss ratio right now, Tony?
Silver PR 36, me 0.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
Anything else, Jarrett?
No, not really.
Or nah, as the kids say.
Or nah.
Tony, video games.
I play Clash of Clans.
Yes, we know.
We talked about that briefly.
Yeah.
And then after I did, hold on a second. We had an IPQ, and yes, Cameron, that one.
Yes, that specific remix. We gotta save the IPQs for the mail sack.
Well, I mean, it's topical. but-
It's topical. He was asking if the YouTube link in question was the specific Space Jam Giles theme mashup,
It's really fucking good.
and it was. You found it, Cameron. Congratulations.
I mean, all you do is search Space Jam Guile, and it's the first one. But anyway, then I also I only listen to that song on my one account, and on the other account I listen to different music. It's fucking get in my Zen mode, yo.
Jesus.
There's a lot of shit that you have. Whatever. I'm not gonna talk. All right. So other than that, I played Dark Souls. I started my 5th playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going for. I started it, but I didn't get to keep going because I'm kind of at the point where now I just kind of want to do some themed playthroughs. And the specific one that I want to do is with the paired katanas because I didn't use a katana yet, and I used a katana when I played Dark Souls 1. And I wanted to do something different than just get the Uchi katana and then use that. So I'm going to use the Onikiri and Ubadachi, but you don't get that until basically the end of the game. So I'm waiting for Danny to be around so I can drop it for him on my one character because I have 3 of them, and then he can get on my other character, and then I'll summon him and he drops me the weapon so I can use it through the whole game.
You know what's fun to do with those?
What?
Invade other people in complete ninja garb and then just jump off of cliffs with the special
There's-
attack,
I saw
and
this
then
really-
miss completely and just get killed. But
Sure. I saw this really dumb video of some guy who he made a new character as a knight, and he went and he killed the Lothric knights in the High Wall of Lothric. That specifically that one that walks out near the second bonfire. There's
Right.
that one guy who walks out the door every time. So he killed those guys enough to get their armor, and then he would kill that knight in his world. And then use the finger thing. So he got the dried fingers. So he got invaded a lot, and he wore the Lothric Knight armor, and he basically looked exactly like them, and just walked
pretended to
that
do
guy's
it.
thing, and people just keep walking past him, be like, "Where the fuck is the dude?" It's so funny because you can't tell unless you're running around trying to lock on all the time that it's another person.
I really do like the Seed of the Giant item in that game.
Then
also.
I'd have caught him.
But yeah. Well, no, because Scott, if you're an invader, then typically you don't target enemies because they're all technically, I guess, on your side.
Yeah.
So it's really funny. There's a pretty good video of that. But anyway, so I've played a little bit of Dark Souls. really, I haven't had a lot of time to play video games. Mostly, I've been busy watching random shit on YouTube way too much.
You can just say porn.
That's not it though, because
Well,
like
the one link you put in the chat says otherwise.
I guess, but
Yeah, genuine response right there.
that's fair. But no, it was more like I said before. It was 9.5 hours of Minecraft for just no reason. There's this series on YouTube. It's called Wrenched. All right, and it's like Chopped, but
just wanna get
Minecraft
wrenched.
building. And it's pretty good. They have they have all these mods and shit, and they get these guys to come on, and they have judges, and they have like 30 minutes to build a machine with the secret like set of blocks. So it's like random stuff, and they have to build it, and it's cool. So that's what I watched a lot of that, and then I watched some other stuff that guy who made that put out. But anyway, other than that, I played some Street Fighter yesterday night with Silver PR. Earlier this week, he messaged me on PlayStation. He was like, "Hey, bro, you want to play some Street Fighter? I'll have some time later this week." And I was like, "Okay." And then we finally connected yesterday, and we played for a good like 2.5 hours straight, just like match after match.
Did you get any better?
Well, see, I hadn't played in about a month and a half.
So no.
Because I was really horrible at the beginning because there's a whole like setup for me to play Street Fighter. Like, gotta get the fight stick, gotta get out the microphone to be in a
You
party.
could just say porn.
There's a lot of stuff. I don't know why you keep trying to put this evil on me, but so that's kind of where we are. So it took me a while. I got everything set up. We jammed out. It was a lot of fun. I think he won probably about 30 matches, and I won like 8.
Okay, that's not
bad.
That's not bad by previous standards.
Yeah. But if I feel like there could have been some pretty good screenshots because at one point, the way that I play Street Fighter, I have a fight stick that is an Xbox 360 fight stick. So in order for it to work on my PS4, I have this Cronus Max USB thing that I plug it into, and every once in a while it has to disconnect and reconnect the controller so that it works. And if it happens to choose to do that while I'm in a loading screen, it crashes the game. So I crashed at one point, and then it like when you crash out of a battle lounge and you go back, it sets you back at 0 wins. So like before it was like me 8 wins and Silver PR like 16 wins. Then I came back and it was like me 0 wins, and then by the end, because I didn't win any more after that, so it was just me 0 wins, and then Silver PR like 26 at the end. So it was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, that's kind of all I've been doing. I played Street Fighter, mostly just Clash of Clans. Let's be real.
Yeah, of course. Jared, did you ever play Dark Souls 3?
Oh yeah, played it, finished it.
Do you want to give like a brief thoughts on it? I know it's on the Monthly Passions podcast, but I was just curious.
I as I told Allie, I was a bigger fan of Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely missed it when it was gone. I think the common sort of idea that Dark Souls 3 is faster because of Bloodborne, I think that's not really true.
Yeah.
The speed, I think, is in maybe the speed of the attacks, but not the speed of your movement. So, like, attacks might hit you faster, but you are definitely not moving into or away from them any faster. The slower pace is fine. It's what Dark Souls is.
Yeah.
And, of course, I think it has its merits. One thing I don't like about Dark Souls that I'm sad came back was the plethora of like weapons and armor you find that don't necessarily have much of a difference between each other. Literally, I played most of that game, maybe 90% of that game with the longsword because I just didn't want to make a commitment to any other weapon.
Yeah.
And the longsword's fine because I was doing the quality build, so it was gonna work. But like, all in all, it is the culmination of many years of a game that has been incrementally getting better than itself, but has always been like this sort of wondrous sort of amalgam of investigation and like gameplay in a way that you really won't ever see again. if Miyazaki's stepping away and no one's stepping in to continue it. I hope this becomes one of those games that people iterate on forever, or take things from and build other franchises from, and this becomes one of those games we talk about.
Trying.
They're all trying,
right?
yeah.
Like we've seen it in stuff like Salt and Sanctuary, and like we're seeing it in upcoming stuff like I can't remember what this one's called. The first thing we played at PAX, Alex, something.
Necropolis.
That's what I thought.
Necropolis,
And
Below.
Death's Gambit.
Yeah.
Below. And heaven forbid that one that actually came out, the AAA one. You know what I'm talking about, Jarrett.
Lord of the Fallen,
Lords of the Fallen. There will be
the
a Lords
Western
of the,
one, yeah.
Yeah, there's a Lords of the Fallen.
And
series
Neo.
coming. And Neo.
Yeah, Neo, which is interesting. I played that demo. That's strange.
Mhm.
But yeah, I want this to be the GTA or the Street Fighter, like the game that does something so well you'll see it everywhere from now on. Because I think out beyond Dark Souls, I think the best game that takes Dark Souls gameplay and creates something like really, really special has yet to come.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
I
fair.
think
Yeah.
there's still going to be something Dark Souls like that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen it yet. And I don't think there's necessarily a bad thing to want someone to do this like it is, but then do some other things that Dark Souls still doesn't really do as well, in my opinion, or still could do better. And hopefully in 5 years we're talking about that game now. But we'll see. I was happy with Dark Souls. I'm probably not going to play through it again. I'm not going to get the platinum because I don't need that in my life. I mean, that kind of stress in my life.
It's not that bad. It's pretty annoying, but it's not.
It's not bad. It's just time consuming, really.
It is. It's very
And I don't want to play that game like 3 more times to get this platinum.
Yeah, Jarrett was hanging out when I was streaming it earlier. I think it was last week.
Mhm.
Yeah, it helped you kill the princess.
Yeah, because those twin princes suck when
That was a
your
cool fight.
entire build is based on a weapon that only ever attacks directly in front of you.
I do like that that game is full of transforming monsters and shit. Like,
Yeah,
like
there's
Bloodborne,
some
like,
really, really
no
good
fight
stuff.
ever has to stay the way it is. Like, there's always an opportunity for something to burst out of that dude's face and like change the whole change the whole way this fight
I'm
goes.
really excited to see Scott play through this game.
You wanna talk about a game with more like samey boss fights than not? Let's talk about the 20 hours I put into Demon Souls this week.
Oh yeah, Demons. That's a fucking.
Let's
That's a
do
game.
this. Let's do this.
It's
I
Go
just
ahead,
need
Tony.
you to play Salt and Sanctuary, Alex, because you would love that game.
I know. It's a thing. Like it's on. There's a short. So far, it's been a pretty short list of games that have come out this year that I haven't played that I need to.
Yep,
it's-
and they both start with S.
Salt and Sanctuary. What's the farming one?
What's the farming one?
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley
Starts with an S, right?
and Oxenfree. Those are the only ones that I want to play that I haven't. But yeah, Demon Souls. That's a fucking. It is so weird.
It's a fucking game, man.
Because like here are a couple things about Demon Souls. One, it's way more arcadey and cartoony than I remember it being.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of more stylized, right? But two, it's way more ham-fisted with its story than I remember.
It is like the story is nonsense.
The story's like nonsense, but like it is way more in your face. Or, like,
Oh yeah,
this
it's
is
actually
what's
telling
happening.
you it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is super crazy. I mean, like so like thinking about it, you're like, oh yeah, this all started with Demon Souls, but like the whole environmental stuff really started with Dark Souls 1.
Right.
They went in super heavy-handed with it. The title text and the other stuff that goes with the Demon Souls isn't nearly half of it.
But like it's not just that. It's like there's so much dialogue in Demon Souls. Very
Yeah.
poorly delivered dialogue. Like which
Like
I mean,
the true Demon Souls starts here.
yeah, I mean, well, not
That's poor. I guess that's probably the best delivered dialogue in the whole game.
What makes me laugh about Demon Souls is how like the UI is just so shitty.
yeah.
Like terrible. Like I mean, it's not that hard to look like to shuffle through, but it just looks terrible.
It is like rough. I mean,
They
like
kind of translated it, and it was just left it there.
it's just super interesting going back to it because like there Demon Souls I think I projected a lot of like what it started in the series, like for example the environmental stuff where that really did start with Dark Souls, but it did start a lot like there's no jumping in Demon Souls. Weird,
Yeah,
right?
there's
You're so used
there's
to that.
weird half jumping in the other games.
But like Demon Souls is also like really cool. Like the bosses were it's clear like they had an idea of what they wanted to do with bosses, and like you see something in Dark Souls where it's like you said, Jared, like way more transformative. Dark Souls 3 transformative bosses where like there'll be a shift like or two shifts in the boss fight of like here's the first transformation, second transformation, like in Bloodborne, and there's some of that in Dark Souls 1 and 2 as well. um but like the stuff in Demon Souls is way different, like the Tower Knight, right, where you have to attack his legs and then you can attack him,
Right.
and like it cycles through. Like that's really cool. Or the Dragon God, where you have to kind of like move to these points on the map to attack him, and then you have to actually hit him to kill him. Or the King of Storms, where you get the special weapon that shoots out this wave, which is actually very similar to a boss fight in Dark Souls 3. I don't want to ruin it for you, Scott. But there's something similar there.
There's a lot
Not
of
to mention,
similarities.
not to
Like
mention, you've got the Molten Lord. Who?
Yeah,
Oh god, that guy.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
behavior definitely changes throughout that fight.
there are a lot of cool similarities. Like there's a similarity to the Sif boss fight. There's one boss that's very similar to that. There's a boss that's very similar to the fight against the Moonlight Butterfly.
Yeah, it's cool. Like that, the game was definitely like ahead of its time, and like it as like a generational game. Like I understand like why it resonates with you a lot, Scott. Especially like in the mechanics that it was trying to do, but didn't really succeed in doing. But like at least it was trying, right? It was trying
I
something
love
crazy.
how incredibly broken it was too.
Yeah,
Like, you just pick a royal, you're good.
yeah, like whatever. Like I just duped a bunch of items, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't even matter. Like,
and I have infinite healing items, and I got to like soul level 38.
Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, but like it's so easy in Demon Souls.
Fair.
It's a cool game. I'm glad I'm playing it. Like looking through it, I'm like, I could probably get this platinum trophy.
yeah, going back, like you've done the worst you'd probably do already.
All
Like,
I have to
Demon Souls
do-
really isn't that bad.
All you have to do is get all the miracles, get all the rings, and then
Same as
level up a weapon
most of them, pretty much.
through all the different kind of types. Yeah. So yeah, it's cool. Like I've been playing through it. I'm probably about halfway through. Just like there's stuff that's just bad in that game. There are parts of that game that are just mechanically bad.
Like Town.
Well, no,
Like
that's
the
Dark
Fire
Souls.
Lurker.
The Fire Lurker, he's not great, but like
I don't remember much of Demon Souls.
the dragon, the blue dragon,
Yeah.
is just like poorly implemented in that game.
Yes, it kind of is.
Like it just like it's a little too strong, and it locks you into like a lot of the enemies do a lot of things that like break your guard, even though it doesn't break your stamina guard.
Right.
So then you can just get wailed on way too quickly and just die in a second. It's like, well, that seems kind of like bullshit. So there's a lot of stuff like that just can happen so quickly. That's just like, it's not like Dark Souls later on where like it kind of at least you understood what was happening. They're just like, oh, well, this attack does this, I guess. And again, I think a part of that is just like From was still kind of coming into their own as far as how they wanted that game to feel.
Right. It's definitely like a notebook full of ideas that you can see everywhere in every other game they've done.
Absolutely. But that game is really, really cool. It'd be cool if they did a Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 remastered. Like, I want them to do a Dark Souls 1 remastered, obviously. But it would also be cool if they made it so Demon Souls was more accessible to more people. But
Yeah, it's just why.
I mean, yeah, why?
Like,
It'd be cool to like I played that game online, right? There's still people playing that game. There's a subreddit of people. You post a thing. It's like, hey, I want to co-op this boss fight.
That's cool.
Which
Still
is cool.
like a community kind of trying to thrive.
And that's pretty much the only way to find people, right? Because soul level stuff is so broken because everyone's just duping and leveling up in that game. But that's cool that exists. Demon Souls is alright.
Yeah, it's all right. It's an all right game.
It doesn't hold up that well, but
No.
I'm having fun with it.
I still have the Chinese version. that I imported because I didn't think it was ever going to make it there.
Because you got fucked. You got
And,
fucked.
it was English, so I was like, all right, I'll just me and like 3 people from work all imported it, and then like the next year it came out in America, and I was like, well, fuck, we can't even play in the same servers, so I guess I'm done with this game because I'm just gonna sit here on this island alone and play it by myself with a bunch of Chinese people.
Yeah. Sounds
Or
like a
I'm
good
just
time
gonna
to
play
me.
a royal and sit behind something that I found that the boss can't actually find me in and just hit him with a wand until he dies,
Fuck yeah, you are.
which I can do with 80% of that game.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot more magic stuff than I did last time I played through it. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Played some more Spelunky. I beat it again this week. Just want to let you all know.
You might have an issue.
I
You want to see somebody about it?
absolutely have a problem. Got to get ready for my.
I'm just waiting for the week that you come on and you're like, so I played Spelunky this week, and it beat me.
It beat me off right there in the middle of
That is not what I said.
I gotta get ready for my 5-hour flight next week. Jesus.
I'm telling you,
You
just
played
just
the
fly
first Doom
Delta
all the
1.
time, too. Like that.
Yeah.
What, your 5-hour flight where you have to beat the game every hour?
Yeah. Exactly. I have a time limit, Scott. If I don't beat it, I jump out the plane.
You know what? You couldn't
Have you
get a goddamn
platinum
book.
Spelunky yet?
There's no platinum in Spelunky.
Have
I have
you-
100% of the trophies. Yes.
Okay, then you've platinum Spelunky. It doesn't have to actually have the platinum
does,
trophy.
actually.
It really doesn't.
It does. You're just wrong, Tony, on this. I'm
Might
sorry.
I suggest a magazine?
Is it a porno magazine?
I don't know. I mean, you borrowed from Tony, it might be.
Yeah, it's
It,
true.
it might be. I don't think I've ever had one of those in my life.
You haven't?
No.
They still sell those?
Yeah.
I was like, wait.
I a friend told me.
Yeah, of course they do. I mean,
The only other thing I've been playing is Valkyria Chronicles Remastered.
that's a good game.
That's a great
it
game.
is a good game.
I really, really love that game. Yeah, it came out this week. What's it? $30 on PSN. And
Peruse.
there's a steel case edition or whatever that Danny Juarez was like, I need this for some reason. But yeah, I'm on chapter 10. I just got to chapter 10 of that game. It's really good. You know, it's just like I wrote something about it today. It's cool that game, you know, whether it succeeds or not, it is trying to tell a pretty moving war story. And I think it succeeds in a lot of ways. You know, it works for me because like I totally buy into that kind of JRPG hokiness, that kind of like very trite, very stereotypical, love wins the day type stuff. But
Yeah.
regardless of that, there is like a poignancy that it delivers that is really good. A lot of feelings of like, hey, this is what it's like to fight for your country. Hey, this is what it's like to lose someone you care about in war. And they focus in on that stuff way more than something like a Battlefield or Call of Duty or like a modern example. So
And I mean, it's weird to have that sort of, I guess, approach in a war. A very clear a game that's very clearly like a war game, but it doesn't get in its way necessarily.
yeah,
You know, it's JRPG sort of anime situation. It doesn't take away from everything else it does very well.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's not so over the top that it can be you lose like the really cool sort of war story it's telling. It's kind of like a Final Fantasy 12-ish or something like that, where very very much JRPG in the way it's written, in the way it's like performed, and you know, kind of the hokey or sort of strange kind of diatribes it gets into about, you know, coming of age and all that kind of stuff. But at its heart, still a war story, still very big, complex ideas that are really cool. And the game just says this, its system, like it's
really cool. It's just
it's still cool.
there's nothing like it out there.
And it's weird. The only thing like it out there are its sequels that
Yeah.
that no one bought. I don't understand.
Yeah, but I mean they're making a new one, Valkyrie Azure, whatever, Azure Revolution, I think. Is what
Yeah,
it's called.
something like that.
which looks to be like maybe a little bit more actiony. But yeah, for me, like it feels like a really natural extending of Fire Emblem, like the Fire Emblem formula into like a full 3D space,
Right.
like off the grid.
Yeah.
To
And you
use
know
that
what?
term.
That's a really good comparison because
Hmm.
Fire Emblem is definitely like a Fire Emblem feel,
Yeah,
or a Shining Force sort of feel,
yeah,
which is
for sure.
just Fire Emblem, really.
Yeah, I mean like the free movement, the kind of multiple layers to the battlefield.
Yeah, the verticality of the free movement, because not only are you moving around wherever you can in 3D space, like you're still vulnerable up top and below.
Yeah,
So you have to think in 3D as you would at a normal shooter, but you get to think more tactically or more strategically, I should say, because of the slower pace. Really
yeah.
interesting game. I wish there was just a game that you could
Hello.
that just kind of instead of it being just like a 20-hour experience, I wish that was just a game you could play against other people. Like I think that'd be really
Like
cool.
a competitive version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be cool. I mean, I like the way that you can like. I'm not going to necessarily attack with any of these units, but I'm going to leave them here because I know when other units are walking past them, they'll counterattack them.
Right.
It's like that's super clever. The way you can use the systems is super clever. So yeah, like I mentioned that in that like little blog post I wrote up. It's just there's really nothing like it mechanically and story wise. I think so. It's cool. That's a really cool game. If you've never gotten the chance to play it, like it's crazy. The game doesn't look any different because it just already looked
Yeah, it
fantastic.
already looked great. Yeah.
Yeah. It runs like 60 frames per second now. So it just looks even better, I guess. A lot of anti-aliasing that kind of smooths out everything to give it a nice smooth anime look. But yeah, that game just looks incredible. Still. So if you've never played it, I highly suggest at least giving it a shot. $30. It's not like a huge barrier to entry. It's 20 hours at least. Tons of replay value. The game finally has trophies also. Took me until chapter 9 before my first trophy popped. So, but like basically the trophies are tied to the in-game accomplishments and medals that you can receive. So that feature in your headquarters doesn't unlock until that point. So I got
Right.
like 3 trophies at once.
That's
Okay.
so many trophies.
I know.
Tropes.
But yeah, it's great. It's
It's
beautiful.
rad trophy.
It's fun, and it's got a heart. It's got a lot of heart. Um, that's it. That's all I've been playing. Demon Souls, man.
Demon Souls.
What a video game. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we got plenty of news to kind of go over. Some worth talking about, some not. And then we've got tons of tweets. The tweets just won't stop rolling in. And then we'll throw it out. So we will be back in just a little bit. Choo choo choo.
Choo 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 choo.
I had this dream of the 3 of us Marylanders hanging out together and chilling while Scott plays through Dark Souls 3 on stream. Probably impossible, but a good thought. Love, Tony Horvath.
Yep, I said that.
Tony did say that in our text thread.
But I think it's a good dream.
Keep the dream alive.
Because it'd be a really fucking good time/stream.
I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll burb. That means BRB. Kids.
I mean, do what you need.
You do you, bruh.
Yeah. I'm gonna snack you.
Okay. Don't let me stop you.
But I will let you stop me.
Take them back off.
Oh God!
Look what you've done.
Look what I've done. Why did you say take them back off? My headphones?
Yeah.
Damn
Just
off,
like-
you dirty
just like-
animal.
I don't need you to hear this.
Is it just you fapping?
No, not even close.
Straight jerking it?
No,
So right.
not so wrong. It's never right.
You can't deny this feeling, Tony.
I am back.
Welcome back. Jared, are you back? Whoa.
Well,
Sorry, I just got a very, very, very long DM. Whew. All right.
Is it part one of our fanfic?
Or slash fic?
Yeah.
No. Let's see what the snap stories are up to. No.
Wow, very choosy with your snap stories.
Maybe just like I didn't want to see that part. Oh. Happy birthday, Wade. Jarrett.
Hi.
Hi, are you back?
I am back.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Hey. All right. I don't know why so many people are watching us live this time, but
Because I put butts in seats, that's why.
fucking goddamn right. But I just want to say, I appreciate it, everyone.
yeah, thanks.
I don't appreciate you.
So, yeah, fuck you.
Hey, yo, fuck you.
Dude, we have really awesome listeners. I'm not
No
gonna-
respect for Scott.
I mostly just like Trevor, and that's it.
Danny sent me this
You know what?
Snapchat
That's acceptable.
that is just
You know
y'all
one of
so
the
hot.
viewers.
Look at Danny's
Yeah,
fucking
whatever.
face in this.
I know,
Ugh.
he's a hot man.
I'm just kidding, Danny. You're a very
Oh,
attractive
look,
young man,
I have a snap from Danny Juarez.
even though you're older than me. Scott, if you had a message to give to our listeners right now, what would you tell them? Not all of them.
And that's my message. All right.
A man of many words. I'll wear this Doctor Who blanket real quick. It's a little bit lighter than my other blankie. It's very cold down here in my basement.
Did you just call it a blankie?
He did. He calls it a blankie all the time.
I did.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm.
Hey man,
Go on, continue.
Blankie sounds way cuter than blanket. And if you know anything
Cuter's a
about
word.
me, way more cute. If you know anything about me, you know I love cute things. Today, this evening for our news section, I will be drinking Hell or High Watermelon again.
The 21st Amendment is a very good brand.
Yes, I've been there.
Have you?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, they're like
They're right across the street from my gym.
they're like down there.
Yep. I'm
So-
going back there next week.
It's a nice place.
So, Alex, I'd like to let you in on a secret.
We are live.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a secret that the whole internet can know about.
Me.
So I watched a video on YouTube that I feel like I should let you in on.
Okay.
That has to do with mac and cheese stuffed wings.
Okay.
And
Send this to my manager.
yep, send this to the werewolf producer.
And you just text it to Navashin.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought it was interesting, even though it looks like way too much work.
Navashin, I do want to say thank you for watching. If you want to hop in on this.
I don't know why I DM'd you that. I'll just like mention you so that other people can check this out if they want to.
Not much of a fucking secret, huh, Tony?
I mean, I don't give
By
a fuck.
secret, I mean I'm going to tweet at you.
Yeah. I feel like that's all I ever do.
Any person wandering onto my Twitter feed could actually see it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's gonna be like his pinned tweet on on Twitter.
Hold on, I'm actually do that right now. There's no context either. It just says @AlFighter27, then a YouTube link.
I was like, what am I supposed to pull up on my phone? I'm like, oh yeah, the music. Whoops.
It's only the 278th time you've done this.
To be fair, we didn't incorporate until like the mid-20s. It's like the 257th time, 58th
Yeah,
time.
that does nothing for the argument. Sorry.
I'm just gonna casually continue to ignore this tweet from Cameron.
And you say
You're
why you
live.
mentioned it.
Whoa,
You understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, Cameron's watching us, right?
Yep, I'm 100% aware.
What did he tweet? I want to see it. I'm gonna pull it up.
I was talking about how I only care about Trevor.
His response was good.
Hey, you should check out my Twitter profile right now, Alex.
Yeah, thanks. News in gaming. Let's talk about some news.
All right.
How's that sound?
Okay.
Some news happened. The 2DS, everyone's favorite platform. The Nintendo
favorite
2DS.
platform.
It's Jared Green's favorite video game platform.
And for those listening to the actual part of the show, I'd like to read the description for this choice YouTube video.
Oh my god.
We stuffed chicken
This is
wings.
coming off of the break for people's reference.
We stuff chicken wings like you stuff your underwear. Only ours gets eaten.
Mine gets eaten. The Nintendo 2DS was
Matter of factly.
$100. And was what it launched at like 120, I think, right?
Yeah. And then it cut to 100 and then cut to 80.
So now it's $80, effective immediately.
This is how I bought the 2DS. Like
I
hadn't played
I have
any
a 3DS,
2DS or DS games until I bought the 2DS.
Yeah, you broke one and then you bought another
Yeah,
one
then I bought another one.
because it's fucking. Well, now it's like $80. You can just buy one to throw in the garbage.
I bought a
Pretty
3DS.
much.
I bought a
Even
3DS.
as disposable
and
plates.
Yeah,
an ex-girlfriend broke it, and now I have a new one.
Samesies.
yeah, but you have a 3DS XL. You got
Yeah.
like the $200 one. Actually, that's the new 3DS XL now. So, I don't know. That's cool. Very low barrier to entry for the 2DS now.
Yeah.
For
There's
all
like no excuse now.
great library of 3DS games. You know.
Most
So.
of them will play on your thing.
Yeah. Is there any ones that don't specifically play on the 2DS?
The ones that require the new 3DS to play. So
Oh yeah. So yeah.
Xenosaga.
But minus Persona people.
Xenoblade Chronicles and Binding of Isaac Rebirth.
Yeah.
And the SNES downloadable ones. So still pissed off about that.
I don't know what the deal will be with Monster Hunter 4 or Generations though.
Ooh, you might have to buy a new 3DS.
I don't know. They're
Do
trying
you think they're
to
going to put out a new 2DS?
I hope so. That'd be the greatest, stupidest Nintendo thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, outside of...
I hope the NX is the new 2DS.
Oh, it's worth noting... That is good. It's just bigger. It's worth noting that Nintendo also is not doing a press conference or Nintendo Direct for E3. We didn't talk about that last week. But they're not even doing a Nintendo Direct. They're announcing nothing. They're going to do a live stream of Zelda on Wii U.
It's a good idea.
Seems like a pretty
I'll
good
probably
idea.
watch it.
Just
I'll watch it.
away.
I'll watch it with you, Scott. We'll text
Can I
about
come
it.
over?
No.
Come on, dude.
I'm just kidding.
No, you can't be my friend.
It is worth noting. So, like, here's the thing. We should talk about this. This is news. I don't want to do our talking over E3 streams this year.
Okay.
I just
there's
like,
less than 3.
yeah, I mean, it's just like, well, there's less E3, but like, no one really watches us talking over the press conference. I'm down to do like post shows on everything. I think that'd be
Yeah.
fun. And we can still get together to do that. I think that still is a good idea. But I'm
You
okay with
want
just
to watch
like,
together.
yeah, I'm okay
Yeah.
with I'm down with us like just like let's just watch this. Let's not like have microphones set up while we're just watching it. And then do a post show. Cause like I'm just over it.
Fair enough.
It's a lot of setup. The audio quality is never good enough for me. We all have to wear headphones. It's not as fun as I would like it to be, and it's not like the thing that does the best for us. So, how's that sound?
I'm cool with
Options
it.
out there being like, "What the fuck? I'm left out of this big decision that I don't participate in."
I feel like that's literally the last response he'd give you.
I know.
Well, I
Just
mean, like,
shrugging.
to
It's like,
be
whatever.
fair,
Yeah,
he did participate in it when he was here.
he did. He did. But now he doesn't even. The Game Awards are too good for him to fucking be on a Skype call or whatever with us for that. So, but yeah, I'm I just that's one bit of thing I can let drop off. We should still get together and order pizza and drink a lot.
Yeah, I'm down with the drinking a lot.
Yeah, but like we don't have to be live while the press conferences are live. We can do a live show afterwards. EA says Star Wars Battlefront didn't have a campaign because of The Force Awakens. Is this a real headline? Did I just read that?
Yep.
Quote unquote, Star Wars, I think, is a game where you have to look at it maybe from a slightly different perspective. And this comes from Patrick Soderlund, who's, I guess, the vice president of EA. He continues, yes, we know that the one thing we got criticized for was the lack of single-player campaign in it. That was a conscious decision that we made due to time and being able to launch the game side by side with the movie that came out to get the strongest possible impact. I think the team created a really good game based on the premise that we had. I would say the game has done very well for us and has reached a very different demographic than traditional EA game would. So from that perspective, it's a success.
Okay. What we did was we had an idea and we just did it, and in that case, it's a success.
Commercially
If we
sold
just
over.
we just close all the gates, close all the value, close all the value and measuring like tools we'd use to measure success, and just say it's a success, then it'll be a success.
Shut it down, right?
Sure.
Commercially, the game sold over 14 million copies. And it got like a 75 on Metacritic, I guess, which is good.
Yeah.
And I don't know who was asking this, but they asked Soderlund about the Metacritic and said, "Are we happy?" He replied with, "Are we happy with the 75 rating? No. Is that something that we're going to cure going forward? Absolutely." There you go.
You say so.
Whatever the fuck.
I'm pretty sure you can't.
You can't fix. Well, I guess they're talking for the next iteration.
Right. But I mean, like,
You can't cure it. Cure is the wrong term.
I mean, like not the idea of curing, but the idea of trying to fix that game, which is what you said, and what I know that's not what you meant.
Yeah.
Like,
You
oh,
can't
come on,
really
dude.
fix the
It's like-
public perception, because the more you tell people to like things, if they don't like it, they will respond and force the opposite way.
Yeah.
Because the internet is a writhing sort of pit of scum and villainy.
You are not wrong. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. EA, I think like on an earnings call said like they're slating Battlefield or Battlefront 2 or whatever it's going to be called for a fall 2017 release. So to coincide with Star Wars Episode 8, I guess. But
I hope there isn't a single player mode in that either.
me too. There are a lot of things they could do to improve Battlefront, but I don't think the one that came out last year was bad. I just think It wasn't necessarily for me. It was for a different crowd.
No, I don't think those games will ever be for me though. Like Battlefront 2, I love the shit out of, but that was
A
so
long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't play those games anymore.
Who liked the single player for those games?
No one.
No
This
one.
is what I kept saying.
Exactly. Pull those motherfuckers out of the closet they're hiding in and have them explain to me what was so good about them that they're missing them now.
I like Ben Riddick. I think is the only person I ever met that liked the Battlefront 2 campaign. I think it's Ben. He's a huge Star Wars fan though.
Yeah, but I mean, so am I. But I got over it. Like that's not a good. This is not a good Star Wars story. I'm allowed to say that and be a fan.
Yeah. Just
Well, but there's the thing. I don't think it was an actual story.
It was a bunch.
It was like
like
a tutorial
excuses to
about
fight
how-
on those zones.
yeah.
It was a tutorial about how to play the multiplayer.
You could play as the hero characters over and over again. Let's talk about Destiny. You ready, Jarrett?
Oh yeah.
You got
Let's
your big
talk
boy
about
pants
Destiny.
on? Let's
They're
talk
here.
about Destiny. It's been a while. Remember our Destiny talks?
Remember Destiny?
Yeah, they were good stuff, man.
They were good stuff. So there's a leaked poster that hit Reddit last, I guess, 2 nights ago now. Or was it last night? God knows. But it popped up. Poster of what looks like a Titan holding a flaming axe, surrounded by wolves, actual living wolves.
Real wolves.
Just says Destiny: Rise of Iron.
Actual living wolves.
Actual living wolves.
Here
Instead of
comes
a house of wolves.
here comes the drop kick.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that dude's not just any Titan. That's Lord Saladin,
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
the Iron Banner.
So Rise of Iron, presumably the next expansion for Destiny, that would come out this fall in place of Destiny 2, which apparently has had a lot of internal shifting. And obviously we know that was scheduled. That is now scheduled for a 2017 release. Can't necessarily say it was delayed to that, even if the original plan was for it to release this year. It never had a release date. So, but this is what will presumably be announced at E3. I like that this picture clearly a Snapchat. If you look at the Kotaku story,
yeah, that's true.
it's got the Kotaku, it's got the Snap circle on it,
It's
and
got
then the
the
swipe up
chat.
to chat
Yeah.
from like a Snap story.
So somebody super Snapchatted someone a poster,
Yeah.
and then they were like,
and then he saw the screenshot and he was like,
and
oh,
they're
shit.
like, someone has screenshotted your snap, and you're like, fuck.
Apparently, the raid of this expansion will center around the Fallen with a twist. And this is coming from a person familiar with what's going on in Bungie. It's an unnamed source, of course. Development on the raid started last summer, according to said source. At one point, Bungie planned to launch it in April, but was delayed when their plans shifted at the beginning of 2016. Now, there was a correction to this story made later, saying originally it was reported that the new raid is based on one that was cut from House of Wolves, but that is incorrect, and the development of the new raid actually started from scratch. So, and Kotaku, in this Kotaku story written by Jason Schreier, he just goes on to mention, like I said earlier, in January it was reported that Bungie moved its internal target for Destiny 2 from 2016 to 2017, replacing Destiny 2 with the fall slot with Rise of Iron. So, is this going to get us back, Tony?
I'm probably gonna play. We'll see if it, holds my interest. But I have enough faith in, But there's the last big expansion that came out was obviously pretty rad, right?
Yeah, it was really rad.
So it's bought, my interest in the next one, and assuming the world doesn't catch on fire before it comes out, I'll probably download it and play it, right? Like if stuff comes out, this is obviously just like a piece of trash, then I might hold off for a while, see what happens. But
Yeah. I'm all in. I had so much fun with Destiny last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, I won't have the privilege of kind of like coming in after basically 2 expansions worth of content had come out.
But then again, you kind of go through like the base game and everything in like almost no time flat. Like you can spend if you're just going through it.
Yeah, I mean, I
like
I took my time with it.
a couple hours, right?
Yeah.
And then you're into House of Wolves and stuff. But yeah, Taken King stuff is really what took the game to being like a pretty rad playable game. So it'd be cool to see what's going on, because I haven't even looked at really like what's going on in Destiny since I kind of checked out of the Taken King. So there'll be some stuff just that was there in the time between then and now that
Yeah, exactly.
I also have to go through. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, like even if like half the people that our Destiny crew like came back to play this, like we would still have fun.
I mean, it's already me, you, and Scott. I think we can count Scott as part of the D crew.
The D
I don't
crew.
think you can count me a part of the D crew.
You completed a raid with Alex.
It's true. We did have fun with that, Scott. That was fun.
I just
Scott's
want
I
to
don't
just
think
play
you
around
can
and
count me as part of the D crew.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Scott's not part of our D club for sure.
No, I specifically did not say D club.
Yeah, but you meant it.
You want to dock with me, bro?
I'm not docking with anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jerry, you played that raid, Taken King raid with us.
I did.
It's fun. We had a good time.
I had fun skis.
Yeah. Jacob obviously played Vault of Glass. And I don't know, I'm looking forward to what's coming. Whatever it is. New raid, hopefully new content, new story missions, new weapons. Again, the big shift of that game.
Probably more wolves.
Probably more wolves, like real life wolves.
Yeah.
The
like
big
they're not even fallen.
The big shift that game needs.
I just want you to say the big shift more.
The big shift.
Thank you.
The large shift that game needs from Destiny 2 isn't going to happen this year. And hopefully just a little bit more of what they've got going on will be fun enough for a sit down and play. Gran Turismo Sport. Jared added this news story. Coming November to the PlayStation 4. Are you excited about this, Jared?
No, I just didn't know if anyone would be. I know
No one.
Gran Turismo is a really big franchise, so I didn't know if anyone here.
There's actually like a bunch of people who hate this game buy it every time it comes out.
I have owned a Gran Turismo game at one point in my life, I think. I think it came with my 360 once.
Okay.
Or was that a different racing game?
That was definitely not on Xbox 360.
Well, then it definitely was a different racing game. And
Forza.
Probably a Forza.
It was Forza.
Yeah, it was probably a Forza. And I did not like that game. So
I like
Therefore-
the Fast and Forza.
I did like Fast and Furious Underground. That one was pretty good.
Which is better, Fast and Forza or Forza and Furious?
Fast and Forza, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was actually Need for Speed Underground. This is how much I actually know about racing games and how much I remember of that part of my life.
Yep.
I do
Good
remember liking that game though.
Good job. Yeah, this also coming to VR. Gran Turismo Sport. I don't know if that's coming day and date.
Scott's the only one who's gonna have VR, so
Yeah, you're gonna have a VR ready computer, Scott.
Scott, which one are you gonna get? The Oculus?
Scott, we
No.
should split a Vive. Split the cost of a Vive so we can go over to your house
Get that
and
Viva.
get that Vive. What a great time it is to be a Vive.
I mean, they're
Scott's got a
you
whole
have a room that's essentially
dedicated-
just not being used.
Scott is one of those people who has a room that he could dedicate to room scale VR. So
Yeah. Just saying. Hideo Kojima is doing some world traveling.
yeah.
I think that's really cool. And he's going like all across a lot of the Sony studios because obviously he's partnered with Sony for his next game. Nordic Games, Quantic Dream, Sucker Punch, the Dice Studios. He's been like everywhere, a lot of European studios, hanging out with Shuhei Yoshida, being bros. And he had some thoughts. I'll just pull some of his quotes here. I think it's better to use. Oh no, not that one. No, I guess that is the starting quote. I think it's better to use internal tools to make games. But for my first title, We're going to use a third-party engine because we want to release it to the people who are waiting. The reason why I'm traveling around the world is because I'm looking for an engine to use.
That's kind of the important quote, because he'd been traveling since pretty much since he announced the partnership with Sony, and no one really knew what he was doing.
When Andrew
They thought
House
he was
dropped
just
some
doing.
hot Japanese on us,
He did. He was like plop, and you were like, oh shit.
you're like, what?
And he's been traveling the world, kind of just hanging out with famous people, like big developers, and no one really knew why.
I think he
Maybe
just
he was
felt like
scouting,
chilling.
maybe. And it turns out he was trying to figure out who had an engine and some insight on how to use it.
Yeah. He continues on just because I think this is interesting. So I may conclude that the game creation is to use the right magic. Is to use the right magic, or is to use the magic to this real world with the use of the latest technology, or to say to make the dream of the people in this real world come true by magic. But just having technology doesn't mean you can make magic. What I've learned the most in this trip: start up the new studio, hire the staff to work with, find the office, construct organization, work on the latest technology, and step into the challenge of creating the new magic. That's really cool. That's actually really inspiring too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool to like see fucking fast and loose Kojima with his cool beard.
Yeah, he looks like an adult now.
Yeah. He's 40, like, you know, just eternal youth. Yeah, I know that's actually really cool. There's definitely like he seems so excited. Like, he was excited about Metal Gear games in the past, sure, but like he seems way more excited in like a genuinely different way now that he's like out doing his fucking thing.
Because the pressure of Metal Gear is gone.
Mhm.
Like, he has not only does he have no obligation to make it anymore, he can't because Konami owns it, and that bridge is, for all intents and purposes, burned. So
Super burned.
anything he's going to do now has to be something different. And
Yeah.
he might have wanted to do it before, but like got cold feet because because he's been the Metal Gear guy for 20 years, but now he has no choice.
Yeah. And it definitely seems like he's got like his core team of dudes with him as well. Dudes and dudettes. Like
The D Squad.
yeah, the D the K
squad.
squad. The Kojima squad. So yeah, I'm really excited. And
As
just
long
like
as they're
hearing him
all-
talk about it is cool.
As long as they're all cool skeleton helmet wearing motherfuckers, let's
Yeah. That weird mascot that they've got.
It's cool.
It is cool. I think it's awesome. Batman Return to Arkham has been confirmed,
All right.
and that's the story. Coming out July 26th for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It will be $50. A little pricey. Includes Batman Arkham Asylum updated to Unreal Engine 4, I believe. Yes. The original game was on Unreal Engine 3. Both the remasters will be on Unreal Engine 4. And all the DLC for Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. And yes, Arkham Origins is being forgotten, which I think is stupid. Roger
Well-
Picorni agrees with me. He made a whole video about it that you should go watch.
I think Batman games are kind of lame. So.
I know you've never liked them.
What I mean, is it Rocksteady's fault? Like, is there maybe a licensing or legal thing we're missing in between that's the reason they can't do it? Or
There might be, but like, I don't know. Like WB Montreal made the game, right? WB's publishing this collection. You would think that they could get that together. I don't know.
I don't
With
know.
it, like, they haven't given a tangible excuse as to why it's not in there, so we can't know, at least not right now. But hey, that's cool. I think it's cool that the engine's being updated, so maybe it'll look even a little bit better than what we thought. I thought this was going to happen like leading up to Arkham Knight being released. I specifically said it would be Arkham City and Arkham Asylum and not Arkham Origins. So I was half right. I was just really wrong about the timing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 was announced. And somewhere Nabashin was like, yes.
Yes.
I think that somewhere was probably Twitter.
Absolutely. Did he tweet about it?
Somebody did. It might have been him.
I'm sure he tweeted something. Yep, it's coming out this year, I believe, in the United States, which is also cool. It's not only was it announced, it is coming to the U.S. Yep, slated this year, no date, and same studio, getting another crack at it. I hear that game was just too hard.
Yeah, I don't. How did people receive the original? I have no idea.
I remember like Nabishin really, really liked it, and conceptually really liked it. I know a lot of people loved the idea of it, but again, too hard, not very well balanced. That was, I remember, Nabishin's biggest complaint with it when he talked about it on here. But yeah, it's cool that they're making another one. I just went down the titles. Nabishin's now writing titles. So, although I did some pretty good ones in there. I'm gonna just toot my own horn on that one.
Okay.
That's all I got for news. The only thing left to talk about is the Pascal infrastructure of the new graphics cards that are coming up. That was announced, I guess, this last week.
There's some cool stuff. It's been a little bit. I think we actually I thought that Scott and I had talked about this already on a show.
We hadn't talked about it, but I hadn't read up on it. I had been talked to about it.
Fair enough. But yeah, so now it's been a little bit. There are actually a couple more popular like media people who do stuff as far as these kind of products have gotten them in their hands now. So we do have some benchmarks on the stats, and the new cards that are coming out, namely the GTX 1080 and the GTX 1070, which is the more affordable, slightly less powerful version. They're best compared to a pair of GTX 970s in SLI, I believe. Or sorry, no, GTX 980s in SLI. And they're significantly better than a GTX Titan Black.
Yeah, these are NVIDIA cards.
These are all NVIDIA video cards. Yeah. So that's cool. Like,
I thought they were animes.
They're all animes.
Valid confusion.
And the 1080 is way better than the 980. But yeah, they're really cool cards. Like, I don't have in front of me a bunch of numbers to throw out, and I don't really think that that's.
I do, but yeah, they're totally not necessary. Like the 1080 starts at $599.
Yep. Oh, well, I mean, these are numbers that are relevant, but I was talking about like frame rates.
I have those as well.
Well,
but like that's important to mention. So like the Titan X, right? That's like the GTX 1080 is better performance wise than the Titan X. The Titan X is $1,050 right now.
Yep.
And the GTX 1080 is not only almost exactly half that price, but it also runs like it doesn't require as much power.
Correct.
So it's more energy efficient, let's say, which is really cool. And the 1070, which is equivalent to kind of like one of the more higher end graphics cards, the 970, right now is like what, $380?
Very, very affordable.
Yeah.
They do a lot of really cool things with the Pascal architecture that have to do with like ways of taking pictures of games that do support some of this. Like you have basically a free camera at any point. If you want to take a picture of like something going on. So like, say for example, I don't know if this is ever going to be supported, but the same idea is like, say you're looking at, well actually we'll talk about something that I know is supported in The Witcher, right? You can do something and then kind of pop out into any view of the game of what's going on and take a picture of that. So that's kind of cool. There's a lot of stuff for as far as like advances in VR. I don't have all of that information at my in front of me, but there's some really neat stuff coming with these new cards. So
yeah, the big shift, and this is stuff that Scott kind of talked about a few weeks ago, was like this new architecture, the Pascal architecture, which just like gets so much better performance out of this graphics card. It's like why they can be more affordable and stuff, which is really cool. And I mean, we talked in our private group thread, like between episodes, you two talked about hey, these new graphics cards, these are really cool. Scott talked about probably getting a 1070 because it's still the more affordable option. But yeah,
Yeah, dude.
it's really cool that these exist and are totally reasonably priced by comparison.
Yep. And technically, you can still SLI them. It's not necessarily the best option anymore. It's okay, I guess, but it's not like grabbing a second one and just tossing it on there.
So I guess like the 990 was the best graphics card before, or comparatively, and this is way better than that. So yeah, it's really cool. You're excited, Scott.
Yeah.
You've been kind of waiting on this.
Yeah, Scott and I have both been kind of waiting on it, just to see what was going on. I've been like waiting to be able to update my stuff, and Scott's just been like, well, his laptop kicked the bucket a while ago, so he's kind of been in computer limbo for a while.
Yep.
But now you mentioned before we started the show that you're trying to build a tower in the next couple of days or next couple of weeks.
That's always hype.
And that's you're going to throw a 970 or a 1070 in this bitch. You don't have to say anything, Scott. That's fine.
It's fine.
Just linger on it.
Just let it sink in. Yeah, I'm just like looking at like a dynamic graph, and it's got 9 teraflops out of that 1080. I don't even know what that means, but that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is really cool. I don't know if you have any thoughts about this, Jarrett.
Nope.
But
there are no thoughts.
There are no thoughts. Memory clock, 10 gigabits per second on the 1080.
That's a whole lot of words. If we're building Gundams, then I'll be interested.
Yeah, I'd like to put this in a Gundam.
Because
I like
Gundams,
to.
I'm down.
I'd like to say anything that I'd put something in a Gundam. You know what I mean? Do we have any idea of when these will be available? They're coming out soon, right? June 10th, it looks like.
For the Founders Edition of it, I believe, yeah.
June 10th is the 1070, and the 1080 will be available May 27th. There you go.
There you go.
Those are UK release dates, but so I think it's around the same time for us.
Yeah, they probably ship internationally.
Yeah, at the very least. So there you go. Pascal architecture is a whole interesting thing that people should look up and read about.
Yeah, it's really neat.
I did some reading about it earlier this week, and I'd like more.
I was just like, man, computers.
Yeah, computers are very complicated, but this is cool.
How do I even use a computer that doesn't have a light up Apple on the back?
Someone in the comments, the YouTube comments, I just want to give them a shout out. They said their name is Lolly.
Okay.
And they said, "Wow, live! I've never watched this live. Enjoy the podcast." I just want to say thanks. Thank you for watching. How do you all feel? I had to stretch my leg out.
Okay. I feel great about you stretching your leg.
How do you all feel about taking a peek into the mail sack?
As long as it includes one voicemail from Silver PR berating my obviously amazing Street Fighter play, then I'm ready for it.
I think we can. Do you want to kick off with that?
Sure.
It's gonna take me a second to pull it up. So if you want to fill air for a hot minute.
I don't know, Scott. Tell me about a seal that looks like a Pokemon that also has a clown nose.
You know, I looked through some of the tweets.
Dugong.
No, Poplio.
That's totally
Dugong. Have you seen Poplio yet?
We talked about this last week.
Has Scott seen it though?
Yes.
But Scott, have you actually seen it?
Remember, I passed out last week.
Yeah. Have you seen the sad Poplio pictures? Because there are some sad Poplios.
It's time to.
Why do people not like him?
People don't like him, and there's so many like pictures that I've seen of people like making really sad Poplios and being like, "Stop picking on Poplio. He did nothing to you."
We are here.
All right, listen, Alex. I wasn't done.
Well, and since I'm riding in the house solo with 2 Chihuahuas to accompany me,
I
have plenty of gaming time throughout the next 2 weeks. So let's go straight to that. I did play some Uncharted 4 again because I rented it and finished it, and it was like 2:45 a.m. in the morning. I was sitting on the couch. Felt like
so like a bug lamp in the background.
The world is safe.
I hope so.
The one that you put in your outro was running on my head, like right at the end. And then I tweet Alex some specific words that pretty much confirmed that I finished the game and whatnot. And what a
Sick
thrill
Harvest
ride.
Magna.
Naughty Dog, you're awesome people. You did a game that I was, I had high hopes, and all those hopes were really, pretty much uh, accomplished. So yeah, almost 10 years of developing awesome games. I mean, for the Sony era. So hopefully for 10 more. God knows. Also, I did play Doom because Brad Shoemaker was splooging all over it in the Giant Bombcast last week.
I haven't
and
listened to it yet.
Got
Yeah.
curious,
He
and
did that.
curiosity got me just 4 hours of sleep for 2 nights straight.
I kind of want to play
before
Doom though.
going to
Everything I've
work,
heard about it's cool.
because the game was fucking addictive and fucking fun. I mean, it's 60 frames per second, really gorgeous for what it is. In presentation, it's really simple, really to the point. Character, it's not a Duke Nukem kind of character, so I like that. It's just a badass that doesn't talk, and
Cool.
every weapon has a purpose. Every weapon, has a strategy on it. I mean, so it feels like you can use every weapon without any problem, except the pistol. Fuck the pistol. But also, the chainsaw has a purpose, and I love that every weapon, every mechanic on the game has a purpose. Sorry, we're using the word of the week, purpose, but that's pretty much
Porpoise.
the word that it describes Doom. I mean, it's a dark horse that nobody saw it coming being this good. So
Greg Blaney
props
did.
to ID Software and Bethesda for keeping those people around in our John Carmack-less world. And also, I played Street Fighter V with Tony. I haven't also online that I got good back again, got in the groove. But Tony and I were playing the other night, and we played plenty, and I beat him plenty. But
Mm-hmm.
he beat me once or twice, I think, with any
Once
other
or
character
twice.
other than Ryu. So it's still that upper echelon that Tony has to reach
Aspire
for.
to beat.
Love you, Tony. So
I beat him
that's
while
pretty
playing
much
Ryu,
about
so that
games.
counts.
No question this week. I'm just gonna leave you with a. Wait, what? A second question? Oh yes, there's a question. What was I talking about? No tangents though. Every time when a good event, pay-per-view of wrestling, WWE wise, or a big sporting event comes up, I usually like to do my own food, and usually like the best plate that I can, cook, so I can enjoy. And this time around, it's a Chinese lo mein with a lot of vegetables in orange sauce. Sorry, chicken with orange sauce, with a lot of spice in it, with chili oil and crushed red peppers. Oh man, it's still so good. Sorry if I got you hungry. Anyway,
I'm dying.
yeah, I love to do that. So my question of this week for you guys is, I mean, when you guys cook, I mean, it's the best cooking recipe that you guys know how to pull off, that you enjoy doing and eating. So yeah, that's pretty much about me, guys. Have a fun one. Have a happy Saturday. So PR signing out.
Thank you, Silver Bear. Good question. What's the thing like you know how to make and you love it? I got a couple.
Wings.
Wings, yeah. Not all at once.
Just like in general or specifically for sporting events?
I think just in general.
Because I cook rather often. Actually.
Me too. I love
I
cooking.
don't know that I have a go-to necessarily.
You don't? You don't have something like that you're really proud of?
Not really. Mostly because most of the things I cook, I'm like pretty proud of.
That's good. You should
There are
send
things
me.
I just light it on fire and just send straight to hell, and I'm like sad about that. But
You need to send me more snaps of this, Jared.
just food.
Yeah, of
junk.
like the stuff that you make. You say you cook often. I want to see what you cook.
I like I've done it at a party a couple times.
I thought you were about to say weed.
I just literally cook weed.
I was gonna be like, oh, that's a
Into
party
crap,
maneuver.
that's what we're going with.
I like I'm a big fan of the slider. I feel like that's the better version of a burger
Mm-hmm.
because it's like 2 bites and that's like the commitment you have to it, and you can put a whole lot of like flavor that you couldn't put over across an entire burger that you could in a slider.
Okay.
So if it's spicy, you can just have a spicy slider that's like not a huge commitment.
Put like a
Usually,
pepper
like,
on
if
it
it's
as
gonna be
well.
like a big old event, I'll make a bunch of different sort of sliders. So I have like I actually have like a cookbook notebook I have. So I have like recipes I've handwritten and shit that are in there. I have like 4 or 5 like slider recipes
I never
that
knew
I'll like
this about
cycle in
you.
and out to this. Um,
I have like a Google Doc folder of like different recipes that I've done that I've just written up because I'm all digital.
and for most things I am, but I like the pen and paper when I'm actually in a kitchen or when I have an idea or if I'm reading it out of a different book or on the internet, I can just kind of write it down no matter where I am.
Totally
Um,
valid. Yeah,
but
that's cool. You should send me some recipes.
I will.
I love cooking and I'd love
Cooking
to
is
see
great
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, I
Did you know that when I was little, I aspired to be Emerald Lagasse?
I did not know that. Holy shit!
I
I know what the cover art for this show is gonna be
I
now.
had I
Hey,
had a cookbook.
welcome to that now.
I had a cookbook of just all of his recipes, and I had a shirt that just said "Bam" on it. It was
Oh
amazing.
my god!
My mom was big like those little cookbooks you could get out of like grocery stores for a couple dollars. They don't really sell them. They don't really do it anymore, but you could get in the line and like on the shelf, like behind the conveyor belt or whatever, they would be like little bit like pamphlet sized, like 20-page
Mhm.
cookbooks. My mom would buy them in bulk. Like literally, we had like multiple boxes of just those things. So cooking is, or just like not even cooking whole recipes, but like getting small ideas from whatever recipe we can find has always been something that's like been a sort of folk, I guess, hobby of my family's.
Green family tradition.
Yeah. Even my aunts, my grandparents, like it's always been something we did. We
That's
don't do that
awesome.
now because you don't have to buy a book for recipes anymore. You can just go on the internet and just type something, and there's probably a way to cook it.
Yeah, that's never quite as fun though. I'm with you. Yeah, me and my mom used to cook all the time. She had like this really old cookbook that we would go through and make like sweets or cake or dinner or whatever. So
I
that's,
just do not like baking.
I love baking. I
But
mean, I love baking and cooking. I love them both.
Fair. I make a mean steak though. Tell you what.
You do.
I'm into
Can
baking.
confirm.
Like it's a lot of process to baking, but I think the end result can be cool. I'm really into like street foods, like things you can eat, like handheld, the things you can eat in small portions.
Yeah,
'Cause I
yeah.
think it's really. I think that's like the really cool when people talk about food like being like a culture thing you can share. I think that's like the best. That's like the most crystallized version of that. Like literally walk up to a truck full of Chinese people and they hand you some shit that like you couldn't get anywhere else, and you're
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Yeah, and it's usually pretty great.
Usually, yeah.
Like the same thing for like traditional American food, like slice of pizza or hot dog or something like that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree. For me, like my wings, obviously, I'm very proud of them. I kind of like took the Greg Miller wing recipe and changed it enough to make it my own. I make my own sauce for that.
Yeah, I feel like we've both kind of done that at this point.
Yeah. You do like boneless. I do bone in.
Yeah, I love me some boneless wings, man.
Some bangless.
Bangless.
I did actually make bone-in wings the last time that I made them, and they turned out really well.
Good.
I just prefer boneless.
Yeah.
So.
It's
You know
like
what I am a big fan of? Cocktails.
cocktail. Like mixed drinks. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
recipe right there, huh?
There's I got a few of them that I'm proud of.
Oh, okay. You'll have to make me some when you come over for Extra Life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep treating this.
You know,
Like
I feel like
it's
we're
going
just
to happen.
I feel like we're just gonna have like stoked Danny, Jarrett.
Danny's
I-
not
I-
coming out for Extra Life.
What if he does?
I mean, that'd be crazy.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Just bring a slot machine with
But
you in
Danny's
your
not allowed
car.
to stay in my house.
That's fine.
Danny, you have to stay outside.
I just don't trust him in the same house where I sleep.
Wait, why?
He let me read you a text message that Danny Juarez sent me this last week. And I know he's gonna listen to this and watch this.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put him on blast.
That's fine.
Um
While you're looking this up, I should inform you that while Emerald Lagasse was my childhood hero, that changed mid-teens from Emerald Lagasse to Gordon Ramsay and has remained the same ever since.
Is it because he's full of rage?
Maybe.
That's valid, yeah.
I subscribe to Gordon Ramsay on YouTube. Fun fact.
Let me see. I need to pull it. That's how important this is. Because Danny's very nice. He's very sweet. Always checks in with me. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like nice back to him. I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to hug you when I'm in San Francisco, or I'm gonna sit with you and talk." And then he said, "I want you to sit on my face."
That escalated quickly.
And I said, "You had to ruin it, didn't you, Danny?"
He didn't know you were sending them signals, dude.
I
What to do with them?
I sent him no such signals. I tried to be nice to him once, and I'm like, "This is why I have to be mean to you." Yeah, the wings. I make my own pasta sauce. Very proud of that. My aunt taught me like this family recipe.
That's awesome. Do you make it like from tomatoes?
Mm-hmm.
Like actual full tomatoes? That's awesome.
It depends. I've done both.
Mhm.
It's like doing it from tomatoes takes a little bit longer because you got to
Sure.
make the tomatoes. But I'll typically do it like just out of sauce, like from tomato, like or pre-cut tomatoes or whatever. But I've done it both ways. Yeah, it's all like I make a red sauce, so it's
Yeah,
not like.
I make a pretty sick hollandaise.
Ooh. I also made mac and cheese for Thanksgiving 2 years ago for the first time. They came out great. Made a roux. Baked a little bit of breadcrumbs on top, a little crisp. It's very good. Scott, do you have any recipes that you know how to cook that you're particularly proud of?
Not really. I don't generally do anything special. I mean, steak's really easy. So is most fish.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, I think the most complicated thing I know how to do is lasagna,
Okay.
which is like, not really.
Yeah, I mean, my mom. It takes skill to make a really good lasagna, though. To be fair, my mom makes a really good lasagna. I know how to cook crabs as well, which is cool. I made crabs for Scott and Tony. They came out great before. So.
Mm-hmm.
Let's-
I wouldn't know, but it happened.
yeah, I mean, you don't eat seafood.
Yeah.
That's fine. Thank you for the questions, over here. That's a good one. Clearly, a lot of love for cooking on this podcast. I know Tony loves cooking. I didn't know you loved it so much, though, Jarrett.
I do.
We have another voicemail now. We had a call out last week that didn't work out, but it might work out in our favor in a few weeks' time.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
So briefly, I did also want to touch on the fact that Alex and I are connoisseurs of drunken quesadillas.
Oh yeah.
We do that shit right.
Ooh, let me tell you, man, we made a lot of quesadillas at one time.
We did.
Holy shit.
We made so many.
We were basically a quesadilla factory.
Yep. It was just like
factory.
I think wasn't that New Year's, or was that 4th of July?
I think it was 4th of July.
Yeah.
They kind of blend together.
It was totally for no. Hold on.
I know that I'm pretty sure it was 4th because I think we went.
Scott,
to,
if it was 4th of July, you wouldn't remember. You were fucking wasted.
No. 4th of July is not when we played Cards Against Humanity on the table in the kitchen. That's when we did it out there.
Right, but
Yeah.
I think we made. Didn't we make quesadillas the most at the time? I know we usually make quesadillas, but we made a lot of quesadillas when we came back from shooting fireworks, I think.
Yeah.
Because I remember there were also bratwursts at that party.
Yes. Yeah, then there was the 4th one.
Yeah.
Ooh, daddy. Now, so we didn't get a voicemail from Jason A. Straker, but we did get a voicemail. Well, I mean,
This is like just as good.
you'll know.
Hey, Irrational Passions, Jackie T here. Just want you all have a great model we got going for the PS4 going on. I'm actually a second Jackie T impression. This is Danny. What's up, guys?
Oh,
Hope the
thanks.
show's going well. Can't wait to see Alex next week. That little beautiful fuckboy.
Excuse me?
Question. So I have not upgraded my PS4 with a new hard drive. So every time I get a new game, I have
Either.
to
It's
delete
okay.
something.
Me either.
So the question is it worth me trying to buy like a 2 terabyte hard drive to replace it to have more room, or just wait for the PS4 Neo if that's a real thing, I guess?
Alright.
Thanks for answering my question. How the show's going well. Later, dudes.
I think at this point, like,
Depends
just-
on how serious you are on like wanting to buy the new PlayStation.
I I should just wrote down the title, Alex : the beautiful fuck boy.
I just want to know if like people are just gonna start calling in to just insult us, and if we
Yeah.
should still play those voicemails on the show.
Last time
Yes.
Danny called in,
Yes.
he said like if there were 1,000 dicks on the wall and Alex took one out and stuck it in his mouth, how many dicks would it take? I'm like, what the fuck,
What
Danny?
the fuck?
He said that's what he said last time he called in.
I don't remember that. I think I just buried it.
Convenient memory loss, huh?
Yeah.
I think like at this point there's no harm waiting for E3, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because we're like what 3 weeks out? Jesus.
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks, but like, you know, if the Neo is real and you're serious about buying one, I'm sure it will come with at least a terabyte hard drive and not a 500. So yeah, I guess wait. I was talking to someone earlier this week. They're like, yeah, right now, it was Travis Baum of Interactive Distractions. He said, yeah, right now I only have one PlayStation, but when the Neo comes out, I'll be able to have 2 PlayStations and 2 rooms. I'm like, I hate that this is like a real thing because I'm still denying it in my head, like passively, even though, like as an industry commentator, I know like this is real, and I have to treat it as real, but I just don't like it, I guess. But yeah, if you're looking to get a Neo, I would wait until E3.
Or
Yep,
even if you're
I agree
not,
with you.
but if you're looking to make a big investment in your PS4, that might like justify just buying a new one. Why not?
Yes,
wait? Just
I
to see
agree.
what the options are.
Because for the terabyte hard drive that people were looking at previously, it might have been a 2. I don't remember. It was like a $100 portable hard drive that you would just then take the enclosure off of and put it in your PlayStation.
Yeah,
That's what
Robertson did.
Yeah. And so you're already looking at $100. So like that's just kind of it depends. I don't know. At this point, I probably would do nothing, and just uninstall some old games. Man, you're not playing them.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I still do.
Uninstall PT, whatever. It doesn't matter.
There's a way if you set up a proxy server to download PT again.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter. Uninstall it.
That's pretty fun.
Just uninstall Angry Birds, like Scott did from my phone when it got taken off of the App Store.
It was Flappy Bird and it was me.
Whatever it was. I don't know what I said.
I don't really do that to other people's phones. I tell them that they should do it. And
I would never
they
do
don't,
that.
whatever.
I don't know what app I said. But,
Ethan's still upset that I deleted Flappy Bird off his phone.
yeah.
That's funny.
Yo, man, I could have sold my Android for so much money.
You can't fix stupid. We didn't get any emails. I do want to say if you'd like to send us an email, mailsack@irrationalpassions.com if you have like a longer form question or whatever. But, the tweets. We paid off this week. Man, we opened ourselves up, huh? We're gonna have to, like, this segment's gonna be long enough that I get to play some music for it.
Oh, man.
Which I don't want to play that NSP cover song, but I mean I do, but I'm not going to.
You should literally just play the Guile theme Space Jam.
Nope.
I mean, this works too.
Got this sexy porno music.
What setting would the porno that this music is playing for be in?
Probably like a
sidewalk,
Just walking down a sidewalk.
like a paper boy just like trotting into a mailbox.
I can see that.
absolutely.
Then deliver those papers.
Like I mentioned, or and have been mentioning throughout the show, if you'd like to tweet a question, even if like you're not watching live, it'll just come up in the mail sack of the following show. Tweet it at IrrationalPod with the hashtag IPQ. Preferably make sure it is actually a question.
Yeah.
We have like a lot of just comments. I mean, like it's fine. I do see the comments throughout the show. I try and save them up for the mail sack. That's when we can kind of respond to it in like a back-to-back format. First one comes in from at It's Van Aken, Alex Van Aken, host of Pixel Pulse Radio. He's a cool guy. He said Nintendo's Tatsumi Kimishima, the new CEO, has said the NX is not the successor to the Wii U nor the 3DS. Does that rule out a hybrid?
Nope.
No, I don't think so. I think it does the exact opposite, honestly.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I think that might almost guarantee it's a hybrid because, I mean, not guarantee because there's no guarantees, but you're not attached to the brands of Wii U or 3DS or 2DS or 3DS, so it could really be anything. And why not, instead of trying to continue some legacy built in these two other brands, just make a third one that's in between?
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, just gathering from context clues whether Nintendo's going to outright say it or not, we know that this is a follow-up to the Wii U platform, right? A Wii U game is being ported to this, so we know it's at least as strong as a console platform, a home console platform. And they're not announcing anything new at E3, right? They pulled out, it means like the Wii U games that they announced earlier this year in like January, February, or whatever. That's it. That's like the last batch of Wii U stuff. So, assuming they don't announce anything after June, which they wouldn't because they still have to do their event to unveil the NX and all that. So,
What if they just don't?
don't unveil the NX?
No, they just don't have an event.
They
just
said
drop it.
that. I mean, they might not have an event, but
They just
they'll,
make a tweet. They're like, hey, here's some details about the NX. Like, don't
yeah,
make
like they did when they said the NX is coming out in 2017.
Yep.
They announced it during a business earnings call. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it rules it out though. Andrew Street at Street Sweeper with 2 R's at the end. Tweets at us asking if you had control over your favorite IP, movie, book, comic, game, so anything. What studio would you hand the game off to? Pitch it. Favorite IP? It's a tough question.
I have to find this so I can read it again.
I mean, I
Found
guess
it. I found it. All right.
I'd love there to be. I mean, there's been a Persona anime that is not related to any of the Personas. I'd love there to be like a. I feel like there could be like a really stylish Persona movie. There have been, but like one like all encompassing like like its own.
Nah, let's get
individual
goofy
story.
with this.
Okay.
Pikmin to BioWare.
Yo, on on the recent episode of the Giant Beast Cast, Austin Walker pitched a Pikmin movie idea that is like those old Russian silent movies where everyone's just frowning and shit. I'm like, that's a good Pikmin movie idea.
Yo, you know what I would do?
What's up?
I would give the Bloodborne IP to the Behemoth.
So
That
make
would
it
be
just
cool.
a side-scrolling, like 2 crew dudes, like clone.
It would be so
punch
awesome.
things in the dick.
I would give a Spider-Man IP. Who can make a good Spider-Man game? Let's give it to From Software. Platinum can make a good Spider-Man game. If it was like the
Now,
Platinum
would
A
probably
team,
buy it.
like the Bayonetta Platinum team, not like the Legends of Korra
Yeah.
Platinum team. Although with how Activision's just selling out Platinum at this point, that's how that's gonna roll out.
Spend that money. Just try and get that paper, bro.
Or like I'm trying to think of like who's like a good action RPG developer right now.
CCP Games.
Fuck you.
CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red, like what if CD Projekt Red made like an actual compelling Walking Dead game? That'd be cool.
The only Walking Dead game I'd probably like.
Yeah, exactly.
Except in the season 1, I guess, of the Telltale games.
That'd be cool. Like I'd love to see CD Projekt Red make like a grounded shooter or something. Just do their world, do their story stuff. That'd be cool. Jared, do you have one?
I have 2.
Okay.
I would probably now it's the cheesy go-to that everyone's been using since they saw season 1. But as a big Daredevil fan, I've been waiting for an actual good game, and I think right now the one that makes sense is Rocksteady.
Yeah, Rocksteady. For sure.
I don't know that. I don't want it to be. There's a lot. I mean, Batman and Daredevil are similar in many ways, especially in how they just run through cities and punch things. Really, is what they do. But I don't. As things moved away, as Arkham moved away from Arkham Asylum, it got too open worldy for me. Like a lot of people like City. I like City. I didn't love City. I really didn't. I was tepid about Arkham Knight by the end of it. I think it's because there's just too much of it. I love the Castlevania idea and isolated idea of Arkham Asylum, and I would like something like that for a Daredevil game. Though, if I wanted to take things to the max. I'm a big Devolver Digital fan. Like, for the most part, they publish pretty much exactly what I'm looking for as far as games are concerned.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone here played The Gods Will Be Watching.
Saw some of it, never played it.
Published or developed by Deconstruct Team. They do really cool like story games, essentially, like point-and-click adventures. I think I would love to see a Walking Dead game done by them. Like we can just redo season 2, and instead of like it be what it is, we give them to them. I think it makes some magic there.
Yeah, I'd like to see P Studios make an Avengers game.
That would be awesome.
That would be fucking incredible. Like, and if it played like a crazy JRPG, like a turn-based JRPG, fucking crazy.
So
I'd like to see P Studios make literally anything, though.
what would happen?
Yeah.
If you take Blizzard Entertainment and you give them The Legend of Zelda,
That'd be weird.
what would they do?
Hopefully they would make like
They'd make you grind sword shards.
Hopefully they would make like something like Darksiders,
pieces.
right? Imagine like a Darksiders style Legend of Zelda game made by Blizzard.
That'd be very meta.
That'd be very awesome.
Considering how much Darksiders is like Zelda.
What if you gave Steam Half-Life? And by Steam I mean Valve.
Like Valve made like Half-Life 3 or something.
Yeah, what
that would never happen. Andrew Taylor at Papa Drew Bear asks us, are you hoping that game developers will take a cue from Uncharted 4 storytelling?
No.
I think they already tried with The Last of Us and they just haven't hit that yet.
I still have a problem with a lot of characterization in Uncharted. I think the story is fine for what it is, but I think for a game series that's been on so long with these characters who've been around so long, these characters never feel that they've done anything. I never feel different about them than I start. I never feel like they feel different about the things they do from the beginning to the end of the game. Like, very few actual arcs happen in the Uncharted series. Like, Drake is always going to be Nathan Drake, no matter who he's married to. Like, and nothing's stopping him from being Nathan Drake, really. And Elena's going to be Elena, and Sully's going to be Sully, and that's fine. That's exactly the point. But
you feel like that's not something you take cues from,
right?
Okay. Barrett Courtney at Bananler Chong, our good friend, asks, what games would you like to come out of Disney licensing their properties to other developers?
There's a lot of properties.
Good Daredevil game.
Yeah, no shit, please. I don't give a fuck who you are. I'll suck your dick.
Pirates of the Caribbean game that doesn't get canceled.
Right. Maybe a Star Wars game. They're not doing that, right?
Nah, not doing 3 of those already that haven't come out yet.
What else does Disney own that's not
everything, right?
They do. That's the thing. They own so much, like a Sports Center game.
Yo, I'm just happy with Kingdom Hearts. Like, that shit's crazy. I'm super just happy with that.
Crazy.
Like, just make sure that keeps going, and I'm cool. Like, I'm good. Cameron Abbott says he's also ordained as a minister.
Good.
So
that's a good idea.
That's pretty cool. JC Ramirez at Silver PR. Obviously a good friend. Getting greedy here, but he says, for Jarrett John, what's your thoughts on AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns? Oh, Jesus. Rivalry and Shinsuke Nakamura coming to the WWE.
My favorite thing about Roman Reigns is that he is exactly what everyone thinks pro wrestling is. He has long, greasy ass hair. He's a tough guy. Doesn't really say much that's important. Wears a bulletproof vest for some fucking reason. Like, people are just bringing guns. He's like 50 Cent, but Hawaiian. And I think he's dumb as hell.
Awesome.
I mean, it sounds like something.
AJ Styles is he's like the 40-year-old man who looks like a 20-year-old man and has been wrestling for 20 years across the entire planet and kind of finally made it to the biggest show in the world. So he's put a whole lot of work in, and now it's kind of finally paying off for him, I guess. even though he never really had to. It's like if you played, European football forever and then made it to the NFL at like the end of your career. I mean, I'm happy that like that happened for him. I just don't necessarily care about it. Nakamura, on the other hand, he's like a blast from the past, and I don't think it's going to work out for him on the long term. He's not that style necessarily, but I'd like to see him. It's fun.
There you go.
Not in Japanese, so it's neat.
There you have it. Wrestling Minute. We didn't get a wrestling reference intro because the option wasn't here. So,
Macho Man Randy Savage died 5 years ago yesterday.
That's super sad.
He's the only person taken in the rapture.
Why are you, as from Trevor Starkey, why are you so obsessed with Sly Cooper this week? This to me, it's a great fucking game.
On a scale of Yoshi to not Yoshi, about Yoshi.
About a Yoshi.
Question the scale.
Trevor Starkey also asks, what will happen first? Will Tony Horvath stop playing Clash of Clans, or will Alex stop playing Spelunky? Neither.
Neither of them will ever happen.
We'll both do it until we die.
Alex will stop playing Spelunky first. Alex has to worry about Greg.
Yeah.
Fair. Technically, it's already been stated that Greg would kill Alex. So
Yeah, Greg Blaney will kill me at some point. I sleep with one eye open and a knife under my pillow.
And a cat right above your face.
The cat on top of me. Cameron Abbott at Unsexiest Comedy asks, Alex, can we expect live streams of Tokyo Mirage Sessions when it comes out on June 24th? Asking because I has no Wii U. I know has Wii U. I can stream it, yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it a lot. Still don't really know what like the game of that game is, like what the moment-to-moment gameplay is. But I'm very excited about it. And Cameron also asks, in regards to campaign, he would have liked one in Battlefront 2. He liked Galactic Conquest. So we got a couple of comments about Galactic Conquest. Some people liked it. So
I guess.
Fair enough.
They're all
You
crazy.
like those people that like eat fries with mayonnaise and like eat
fuck those
the
people.
crust first.
What about people who take French fries and dip them in their milkshakes?
Yeah, you're one of those guys. You're those guys at Wendy's with
Those
raw
they're
beef fries.
so That's so delicious.
Fuck you, dude. Thank you for tweeting in. If you'd like to leave us a voicemail, you can send us one, 404-590-1337. Long distance fees do apply. Standard ones.
Alex, you have a job to do.
Tony has told me that I have to call out someone to call in and leave us a voicemail for the coming week.
Does Tony not do that anymore?
I do. I'm just making Alex do it.
He wants me to do it. Presumably, he wants me to just drop some names here or something.
I mean, you can call out multiple if you want. I said someone, not some people.
Ask some ridiculous person to do it. But like, I'm more humble.
Yeah. I don't think I've been ridiculous in the past.
I want to hear from my friend.
Okay, let's go.
My confidant. My Jacob Bryant.
Hey, I'm cool with that.
I miss Jacob. Even though I talked to him today. We haven't recorded Resident Evil in like 2 weeks, so I miss him. That's it. That's the show. Again, mailsack at irrationalpassions.com's email address. At IrrationalPod with hashtag IPQ if you want to be read in the tweets. That was fun. I like doing the Twitter questions.
Yeah, the tweets.
The tweets. This has been fun. I know a lot of people don't like writing in emails for some reason anymore.
Whatever. Yeah, well, I don't think we even do that. Do we even have a mail sack?
Oh, Jesus. I like the emails, but what can you say? If you'd like to get a hold of each of us individually, we are all on Twitter. I'm at Alfighter27. Same on Instagram also. Apparently that's where it's at now. Scott is at WUTTEHCHUZ.
But he's not really.
But he's not really. I mean, if you tweet at him, he'll answer your questions. Tony's at Tony Horvath, all one word. Jarrett, you were at Jarrett John, 2 R's, 2 T's.
Yes.
I frequently tweet random musings about how my life would be better if I bought more Clash of Clans gems.
This is very true.
That's also incorrect.
It's not. It's not true. That would never. It wouldn't get better.
You can follow the site on Twitter and tweet at your questions at IrrationalPod. Some other stuff, rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Go to VGEvo.com. Check out the awesome podcast network that we are part of there. Check out Malicious Pod X. Currently still on YouTube only. Trying to get that figured out. It's about anime. We're streaming over at twitch.tv/IrrationalPassions. Maybe I'll do some Demon Souls streams before I leave for San Francisco. I think we're going to do some Overwatch streams when that comes out.
Yes, that was the plan.
Tony's going to be holding down that fort while Nabish and I are off West Coast bound.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week. We'll see.
Mhm.
It may just be, depending on what's going on, it may just be best to skip a week. We'll see. If there is something to do and stuff to be talked about, I will be here. I don't know about Scott.
Yeah, we'll give it a second. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Yep.
YouTube.com/IrrationalPassions. Let's Plays are still going up every day of the week, every weekday. Folklore and Resident Evil 6 are the only things going up right now. And Uncharted 4 spoiler cast, obviously. The video
More
versions
Omega
of this.
Quintet is coming.
More Omega Quintet is coming. Tell your friends. Word of mouth's the best way to spread the love. And Jarrett, if people want to read what you're writing, where can they find that?
Probably Gamepedia.com.
Mm-hmm.
There I write features usually centered around games that are PC sort of based and probably something we have a wiki for. So, read that shit.
Yeah. Everything else, Irrational Passions. IrrationalPassions.com.
Including the Multi-Passions podcast, which if you're out there listening right now and you're a content creator and you would like to be on the show, you should tweet me.
Yeah. Jarrett John.
We'll talk about it.
For sure. Jarrett's always looking for cool new guests. I mean, May is coming to a close soon, so we'll be looking for...
And you know you're out there playing Doom or Uncharted or Overwatch or
Yeah.
playing some shit.
Or Battleborn.
Or
You're not
Battleborn.
playing
I would
Battleborn.
like to hear some positive
If
opinions
you are
about
playing Battleborn, absolutely find me.
Yeah.
You're a person I want to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many of them exist?
How many of them exist? I'm sure you can count them on 2 hands, so...
That's so fucking mean.
So sorry. So next week, Nabish and I are going to San Francisco for Kind of Funny Live 2. If you are in San Francisco for Kind of Funny Live 2, you should come hit us up and say hello, especially if you have an Irrational Passions t-shirt. I will hug you.
Yep.
I will deliver the promise Tony has delivered unto you.
Yep. I saw people in that shirt at PAX and they got hugs. So
yeah, they did, for sure.
It's a true story.
We very much appreciate that. Hopefully, we might be selling more of those soon. I've gotten a lot of requests about getting a hold of those. I might do something different. They might be a little bit different because I did say like, hey, if we do sell shirts again, they might be different than these. I want to make a shirt, like a design that's just a person holding a guitar and it says Scott's theme song underneath of it. That's one that's like an in joke I want to bring back. Yeah. But we'll see. I have a lot of t-shirt ideas that would be fun. I just know they wouldn't sell.
Just to you, in your heart of hearts.
Yeah, so I don't know what we're doing next week. Scott and Tony will be here.
Figure something out.
I'm sure there will be guests available if you guys want to throw a show together.
You could do a fireside chat.
Yeah, you two could do a fireside. You could do a Tony and Alex podcast, Tony and Scott shit on everything podcast.
We could. I would then have to find out something to talk about. So Scott and I would probably have to play Battleborn.
Probably.
You probably have to play Battleborn. Only way.
I do we've already taken 2 weeks off this year, so I do want to.
Okay, I'll do something. We'll figure it out.
Try and put out an episode, yeah.
It may just be me like dropping mad raps for 10 minutes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's a podcast right there.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
It might just be me like laughing at Scott reciting like random stand-up comedy.
Tony may have to edit it as well. So
I probably will.
It may be a turbo edition of the podcast.
Maybe the elusive turbo edition.
279 will be something. That's the show. Jared, thank you so much for joining us, as always.
No problem.
We love you. I love you.
They don't speak for Scott. He doesn't know.
Yeah, don't speak for me.
It's
Yeah, that's right.
Scott's like, I do, but
love
you need
you.
to back the fuck up. Thank you to Danny Thank you to Danny Wiesner for our opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. That guy's awesome. DannyWiesner.bandcamp.com if you want to support him. Thank you to everyone who's watched live, everyone who wrote in, and to everybody who listens. I love all of you so much. You
guys are great.
We have an amazing set of listeners. Small group, right? But I love all of you a ton. Thank you, Scott and Tony, for joining me as always. Love you guys. Winky face.
Yep. Stop it. Stop it.
I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games. Stay rational. We will talk to you all next week.
Titles.
Tittles.
All right. There's a lot of these.
There are. I wrote the first
Some of
half.
them are pretty shitty.
Fuck you.
All right. First one. Jump over your watch. That one's pretty good. Then we have Fecht.
Fact.
A Date with Greg Miller.
Mm-hmm.
A Really Dope Case. It's a Grand Opening. You know how those are. And then this is my favorite. Scott's Hall.
Scott's Hall is really good.
Olympics. Glorified Fuckfest. A title about porn. Tony's porn addiction. Fast and Forza. Too Fast, Too Forzas.
That's when Nobshin came in, so he wrote that one.
The Kojima D Squad. Tooting Alex's horn for the good titles. Emerald Latoni. Danny can stay outside. Alex the beautiful fuckboy. Bernie Sanders. And probably would have to play Battleborn.
This is a tough choice. I mean, Scott's Hall is just so good. I
It's
feel like
so
we haven't
good.
had a Scott-centric title in a long time.
I read that one like very early on in the show, and I was like, when we get the titles, I'm probably only gonna read that one. But here we are.
Nobshin said podcast. I don't know. He just texted me.
You just said podcast.
Oh, it's a. Oh, Barrett Courtney just texted me and said, "Alex, the beautiful fuck boy." I like, yo, this isn't like an open fucking
I like that
forum
we're getting titles votes.
for people to fucking vote on. No,
Yeah,
that's
we
not.
picked this, not you.
Don't make me take the title section out of the fucking video version because I will
That's
do
funny.
that.
It's funny.
And Alex, the beautiful fuckboy, is not going to be the title.
Nope.
That's your fucking
It's there for fun.
heavy-handed.
Barrett just said,
Unchecked.
"Yes, it is." In all
Power.
caps. Yeah, God knows my ego is getting large enough as is.
Get one dinner with someone famous and you just go fucking ape shit all over your responsibilities.
Yeah, dude. Do you see how many Twitter followers he has?
He's got a bunch.
Got a bunch.
He's got a bunch.
Barrett Courtney just texted me saying, "Well, fuck you then,"
No, well, all right.
and then he sent a heart.
Here we are.
Jarrett, what do you like?
I like Scott's Hall, a title about porn, and the Kojima D Squad. Because they're good titles. Everything
good.
else is funny, but these are good titles.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. I think Scott's Hall is the clear winner.
Well, it's unanimously appreciated. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, it's pretty much gonna vote anything I pick at this point.
Unless
Well,
you-
I'm curious what your choice would be, Scott.
Jump over your watch, of course.
I was actually about to say that's also a good one.
Trevor Starkey just texted me saying, No, Alex, the beautiful fuckboy is the clear winner with a heart after it." And guys,
You see, there's a reason why nobody's touched Olympics glorified fuckfest, and also why a title about porn and Tony's porn addiction are also not viable titles.
although a title about porn is pretty good.
Yep.
Who wants to say that? Well, I mean, Jared, you get the wonderful honor of saying the episode number.
Why is it an
Psych.
honor? Isn't it just like a
Which one
thing?
that is?
It is an honor.
Yeah, aren't you just forcing him to do it at this point?
I'm
Pretty
asking him. He could say no.
You actually didn't say would you? You said you get to.
I mean, because I'm treating it as the honorific that it deserves.
I mean, I'll do it.
right.
Who wants to say Scott's Hall? I could tell you want to, Tony. So
I mean, I can if you want me to.
I could tell.
Why are you pushing on me?
Cameron Abbott just.
I had a
texted
drink in
me
my hand.
saying,
Could have spilled it over my shirt.
Fuck boy, are we riot?
All right, go ahead, Jarrett.
You're listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 278.
Alex, the beautiful fuckboy.
No.
Plot twist.
Got him.
Scott's Hall. It was a twist.
I tried, guys. I tried so hard. I got so far, but in the end, I guess it didn't matter.
Today you have a
And
subtitle.
you also missed out on my whole segment as well, because I did have something planned. You just threw it off.
Well, I think it was worth it.
Trevor Starkey texted me saying, "Tell Scott I don't really care about the SEO reasoning for your title selections." That's a search engine optimization for you kids out there who don't know. That's pretty good. Okay. You all can stop recording now. To our video viewers, I guess thanks for watching. You
I don't know.
sassy group of motherfuckers. Love all of you. Bye-bye.